Hello, it's me. It's Pete McKinnon here, and yes, you are live. And part two, yes, part two of the. I'm calling it the PGM show. Of course, we've got a great guest coming back on, JJ John Joker, very shortly on today's show because it is today in New Zealand show. So, how are you all? It's gonna be awesomeness to actually talk to JJ again. Um, just to catch up with him, talk, and get to know him a little more. So it is and it isn't confusing. Let's say it's a confusing to me anyway. Show. Okay. Hello, Rolando. Hello, welcome, one and all. So it's a little bit different. It's still the PGM show. It's still a talk show today, but we just get to hang out with JJ. So it's yes or no. Oh, I don't know what it will. Anyway, we'll do part two anyway. So there you go. So, but you just got me at the moment, just waiting on John Joker to pop in and say hello, and we'll get the conversation going as well. So, how are you all? I'm saying hello, Orlando Velez. It's good to see you, and we will get on to the show in just a moment. So, uh, I haven't got a sponsor, so I can't go to here and here's my sponsor because I've got no sponsors. And sporting a new look, not a new look, a new look. Just putting a hat, of course, with my hair is really long and getting unruly. But yes, so it does that from time to time. It gets unruly when you get long hair. So yeah, that's you got me at the moment. So yes, just waiting on my next guest. Yes, you and I. And let's start the show. And here he is.
Hey, buddy. Thank you. Hey, Rolando. Thanks.
I had to do that. I had to do that again. I mean,
I know.
um, how are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing better, my friend. How about yourself?
Good. I see your technical difficulties are sorted out.
Oh
So
yeah. I mean, I have some high winds, but they're not affecting the internet. Now I have internet service, so it's a lot better. So yeah, I'm glad for that, and I'm glad for this part too because I wanted to talk some more, but everything was just going on and off, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm glad this is happening again.
yeah, I was a little bit conflicted on putting it on the PGM show live and just have you and me just talk and get to know each other and just talk about other stuff and so I was a little bit kind of like, oh, what shall I make it? Shall I make it a PGM show live or should I just say part two and that'll be it? So
The you should do it a PGM special. The part 2222 special. I don't know.
yeah, it's on the show. So there we go. You got he's got the show titles and
Yeah.
it's
Hey, G-Force.
G-Force is in the chat. I haven't got the chat really on, so
So actually,
fluff.
GeForce, this is part 2. So
Yeah. Or if you're
yeah, it's
French,
like
yeah.
uh,
So yeah.
it's like what's his name? I forgot his name, but he hosted his last special last night, or for us it was last night. The late
Oh,
show.
James Corden. James Corden.
Yeah, James Gordon. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, oh wow, that's his like his finale
Yeah.
already. It's like wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's 8 years. 8 years he's been on that show. Um, there was
Hello,
a little
Wheels of Chaotic.
there was a little bit of controversy with him that he wasn't going to talk about anyway. Um, Barring that, he spent a good 8 years on the Late Late Show, so he had a pretty good successful rate. So he's
Yeah,
moving back. He's moving back to UK with his family.
I guess he doesn't like that the value of the dollar is going down.
Probably not. He not to cast aspersions on James Corden, but he the stories. I don't know. I'm probably only speculating here. I don't want to make any more rumors. But he wasn't well liked by his crew.
A lot of
Yeah,
people are not. Hey,
so
Gilster.
he got too big headed, a little bit more arrogant than he, you know. But anyway, I mean, I don't see that in him. To be quite honest, I didn't see that in him. I didn't when he was interviewed for his last show. He seemed quite relaxed. He seemed quite genuine in saying that this is the last.
Well,
So
that's the thing, Peter, is that a lot of these guys. Hey, Linda,
and
my family's doing good. How you doing? Glad that you guys can be here for
yeah,
the P.G.M show. Not because of me, but for Peter, for his channel, because he's a really good guy, and I really like Peter, and I really appreciate him inviting me over again for this part 2. Um,
or if you're French,
thank you.
de. So
Or if you're Mexican or Spaniard, it's parte dos. So,
you know,
uh,
thanks, JJ. I
or
appreciate
in
that.
Brazilian Portuguese, round hounds dos. So,
Appreciate
but
that.
yeah,
Great.
no. Thank you. And going back to the things, it just seems like a lot of celebrities they if they forget where they come from or where they start. I know a few of them they start up there and then um they're like they stay there, I don't know. And I think that's why when people ask me like my question, they ask me the question of which celebrity you would like to see or get to know, or who do you have as your favorite. I really don't see them as favorites because I still see them as human beings.
Mm.
Because I mean, even though they can be a jerk or great people, they're humans. And if they pass, like Carrie Fisher, didn't know her, wasn't anything to me like in real life here, but in my
Mm.
life with Star Wars, she was everything. She was my first crush and everything.
Oh,
So hearing
yeah.
her pass, I mean, I did cry. It sucked,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
Sad.
not like
Sad.
it's not like everybody tells me if you know you get the chance to see her, would you approach her? And I'd be like, no. I mean, they're so busy. And that's the thing, is that a lot of them don't mean to be mean, but they're so busy that everybody's attacking them. And I'm just one of those, is like, I'll say a hi. Like if they pass by me, I'll say hi. I've had a few celebrities go pass by me and like, hey, how you doing? And then
I got
that's it.
told
And they're
off.
like,
Yeah, I got told off by Ian McKellen because he was here in New Zealand. So I met Ian McKellen. He didn't really tell me off, but he just told me off
is that
jokingly.
Magneto and Gandalf?
Yeah, Magneto
Oh,
and Gandalf. He was here in New Zealand.
oh wow.
I got an autograph for someone else, and he kind of I went up to him and he kind of told me off, going, if you ask me do it like this, everybody else would be around me asking for autographs. I'm going, sorry, very apologetic, going almost down like this, but he's a nice guy. He's actually a nice guy, Mr. Ian McKellen, very nice guy. So,
A lot of the British actors are, like I met. Was it Jeremy Bullock who played the first Boba Fett?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
Okay,
cool.
and
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, not Jeremy Bullock. It was oh, I forgot his name. The one that played Greedo. I apologize. It was Greedo.
Oh, right.
Um, I met him at a Comic Con, and very genuine, nice guy. I did get an autograph. Of course, I paid for it or whatever because it was for, they make their money. But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
actually took the time and spent like about 25, 30 minutes just talking away with me. Didn't even care about, like, of course, I got the signature, and then I actually had a comic book signed. Actually, the one that I sent to Salacious Rum.
Oh, right.
That's the comic book that I got him to sign. And but the thing that I cared about more is that he actually wasn't like, okay, thank you. He was there talking with me the whole time, and he says like, the people in Texas are very, very nice people. I've been in other places in the United States where I say they're nice, but here it's amazing. And I go, well, because we're still respectfully generally in the South. We I don't know. I'm not saying that other states are not respectful. I mean, because G-Force, he's in North Carolina and he's very respectful.
Mm.
Rolando's in Utah, but a lot of people say that people in Texas are very, very nice. I don't know. Like, I mean, you
Generally,
have your
generally, people are very nice anyway. It's just the bad ones that spoil the
yeah,
bunch, right? So that's the general norm, isn't it?
yeah.
It's even celebrities. I mean, they
Oh,
can be
Joshy's here.
nice, you know.
Josh
Josh,
Anderson, my Joshy.
yeah, part of the pop my culture.
Pop my culture. That sounds cool.
Um, a new rebrand for Scarif After Dark with Shanty and Josh rebranded
I kind
their
of like. I like this more. Pop my
um,
culture. I like. I'm not that I didn't
it's
like Scarif After Dark,
yeah,
but this
yeah, yeah,
pop my culture sounds more like
um,
you know
yeah, it's
HBO type.
yeah,
At night. Um, don't go
it's
too much with that
raunchy,
soft porn, Joshy.
JJ.
But yeah,
It's still raunchy, JJ. It's still raunchy, but it's very funny. It's
yeah,
very good.
but
So
yeah,
yeah.
it's more like Showtime soft porn.
I mean, I love when these guys, Josh and Shanty, or anybody rebrands their shows to be a little bit more brighter and a little bit more. I mean, it's not not to mean Scarif After Dark was dark, but it was it had that sense of sexual innuendo, foreboding.
Yeah,
Honestly. So yeah, pop my culture is quite colorful
yeah,
and
I like.
so
And then
um
having him and Shanti, like well, I knew Joshy. I call him Joshy. He's my
yeah,
Joshy, and I knew him before Shanti. And then when Shanti came in, I first met her. Well, not first met her, but first saw her with Salacious Rum, the Monkey Lizard show live stream, and genuine lady, just like the rest of them, like Linda and Aaron and all those, and I'm glad that she came out and met a lot of us and knew that she's not alone, and especially in
right,
the
yeah,
ladies, because I think we need more females to come out and express that they love this culture of you know of the nostalgia that we have of Star Wars, Jet Joes. I mean, not just Star Wars, but like any other Marvel Legends, DC, anything, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm so proud of all the women
mm,
that come out, not just on the lives, but even in the chats, like Linda.
yeah.
I mean, I'm very happy that they're there, and very proud that
Mm,
more women are coming out
mm,
and showing this side
mm.
of them.
Vader Girl, Cat,
Cat, yes, oh my
Mi-
cat, she's
Miss Ditty in the UK with you know with all those UK boys, you've got again, yes, Linda, yeah, yeah, it's Shanty, nerdy girls, women who like nerdy stuff is great, it's fantastic. So
yeah,
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not for us, boys all the time. It's for
no,
everyone really. So, um,
And it's awesome, and I'm glad that you guys are doing the new. I know it's like early for some people. I mean, sometimes I stay up late till 3 in the morning, but when you guys do the New England show, the New Zealand show, I'm sorry, I
Right.
was just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm glad you guys are stepping into that and coming out, and that's awesome, and I appreciate that. Give me a
Oh,
moment.
it's fun.
Who's that? Oh, give me a moment, my friend. My little one woke up. I'll be right back.
That's right. Well, while JJ's off, it's great to see him pop in. Part two of the PGM show, but not the PGM show. I don't know. I keep on repeating myself. But how are you guys going in the chat anyway? Yes. I popped my culture, yes, once. So I guess everybody really probably possibly did. G'day Wheels. Okay, Doom. How's it going, Luke? It's a lot of words there. These few people, words. Sydney. Oh, okay. Well, sorry, it's a lot of words. Oh my goodness, it's the weekend. Here we go. What's that? Where? God, I'm blind. I don't know where that is. Second, that I love the New Zealand Aussie shows. Thank you very much. Yeah. So do I. It gives me. I hate to say it. It gives me a license to actually be a comedian. You could say. I don't know. It gives me license to actually just have a laugh with the boys, Kiwi boys and Aussie boys. I love. I'm like a broken record, really. G-Force. I love to make people laugh and entertain, and if I don't make people laugh of my absurdity, so I don't mind. I really don't mind. Looking about to give the vacuum tour of the home, right? Yes, take your vacuum out for a Hoover. Yeah, that's my pet as well, Hoover. But glad you are all with us tonight with JJ and myself. What's that? Now, Josh is your neighbor G420. I kind of actually really like the pop my culture thing with Shanti and Josh. It's a good again. Repeating myself, but it's a good good rebrand. Oh, it's makes it makes the show pop. Really, it really does. So it's actually sneaking a peek at. JJ's got a lot of good G.I. Joe in his collection, right? Really, really fantastic. But I, for one, getting into the toys kind of thing, looking at his collection, I could have more around his room, but I never got into G.I. Joe. As to that scale. It's more Star Wars for me, really, and other films. But anyway, again, tell me what you think. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Linda, I'm putting that off until tomorrow, which is now for you. Yes. We're in the future here, G. We're in the future here, G-Force. What did you think, of course, of the ZRS or ZSR? I don't know, or USB. If you're dyslexic, 99 shows. impressive, absolutely impressive. Yeah, so check that out. Oh,
All right, my friend. I have a little guest here. She's not wanting to go to sleep, but she'll
all
stay
right,
up as much as she can. I'll see if she
that's right.
knocks out in a bit.
Right, that's
She's
right.
ready. She's right here.
Hello. Um, that's fine. I mean, it's it's got another
Yeah,
guest. So yeah,
apologize for that.
no, don't apologize. It's family, man. It's family,
Thank you.
as Vin Diesel keeps on saying in the movies. So it's family.
All you need is
Um,
family.
God,
Like that meme when I don't know if you've seen it where it's Harry Potter versus Dominic Toretto, and it's like, all right, guys, the name of the game is see who doesn't have what or whatever, and it's like start with you, Harry, and he's like, what's that? And he's like putting it on as the invisible cloak. It's like, oh, an invisible cloak, wow. How are you gonna top that, Dom? It's like, I have family, and then you see the song, and it's just like they look at each other like, and he's looking at him like that's messed up, man. It was funny though.
it's. I mean, he was on Jimmy Kimmel uh,
Was he?
last night, but he was on. He wasn't on JJ. He was on Jimmy Kimmel's show. He was on Guillermo's show. They did this funny bit where he was on. He was on Guillermo's show, his talk show, and Vin Diesel
Yeah,
showed up and it's quite funny because Guillermo had this three-piece mariachi band, right? And Vin Diesel walked on, and he just had a small talk show on a talk show, right? So it was hilariously funny. It's check it out. It's on YouTube. It's quite a good little bit.
check it out.
Uh, but he was he was he was actually promoting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
What,
So
what do you think about Guardians? Like how do you feel about it? Like, I mean, you
this one
know,
seems to be really good.
you think
This
so?
this third series is going to be the last one, of course, because
Yeah.
James Gunn is now the head of DC over there with Zaslav.
Do you think
Um,
it's the last one, or you think there'll just be some new people that are like a lot of people are thinking that they're gonna have like some of the original crew are gonna stay. Like Rocket might be um, the new Guardian leader, and that Peter might just stop. And I think we all see Drax dying. You know.
okay. There is a death there. I haven't seen the film yet, so I'm waiting on that. But I think there's going to be changes. I think Chris Pratt alluded to that in his interview with Jimmy Kimmel.
Hmm.
I think it might be Star Lord's last one, so he might not be in the next one. There's probably going to be cameos in different films, I would expect,
Hmm.
uh, and I do hope they throughout that uh, whole Marvel phase they are going to do that with some of these characters from Guardians. I think they need to. Um, uh,
Because they're saying it's like its own
I think
standalone, right? It has nothing to do with the Kang thing, and
yeah,
especially now with I hate to see that because I really liked Jonathan Majors as Kang, but now with his incident, it's kind of like now they have to go a different route. You know,
um, I think there's a siren outside my window here.
hide,
Uh,
Peter, hide.
yeah, better, I suppose. All that American, not all that American, all that green stuff. Yeah, so, anyway, this didn't work. The joke didn't work. So it's all right. I think, to be quite honest with you, I think if another director takes another Guardians on, it'll
Hmm.
have to it'll have to be really good. from James Gunn's trilogy. Um,
I
I
mean,
just
it's
think,
possible. I mean, the Russo brothers, when they brought them into Infinity War, I mean, they did pretty well with the comedy and how they approached to it. Them, I mean, it almost felt like when they came out in Infinity War, they were almost like James Gunn type of movie. I mean, they did great with that. So, I mean, maybe one of the Russo brothers or the Russo brothers will come in and step in. I mean, they've been they've been doing pretty good.
thanks, Orlando. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to really talk about that because I've seen retro blasting and display model behaviors take on that. So uh, it was wrong. It was wrong to do it. All I'm saying, I think it's completely wrong for somebody to actually raid somebody's house for cards. It was just stupid. But I'm not going to boycott. I'm not going to boycott. I'm sorry. I'm not going to boycott Hasbro. Sorry, because I buy their stuff.
Lindo is like,
Um,
show the baby. And she's right here. Turn that way, mama. Say hi. Say hi. She's getting tired, but she doesn't want. She's finding her sleep lately. Hey,
okay.
look, Vader's girl's here. Cat's here.
Guys,
Hope she's doing well.
um, as to G-Force's comment on your baby, so
Get in my belly. That's what I think of. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs. Chilies. Baby back ribs.
good on you, G-Force. Yeah, good on you. But yeah, being a family man, babies just don't, you know, you can't kind of, what's the word? You can't kind of. They're not on a clock, are they? Really?
No, I mean they changed. I mean she was doing good for a while. You know, I would get her in the bed by like 9:30, and she wouldn't wake up. But these past few days, she's just been up. I mean, I think it might be the teething, but
Yeah.
it's okay. She's okay right now. I guess it's true. When I was in Super Awesome Geek Show's Jeopardy, she started crying. I guess because she saw Salacious Rum and scared her. I don't know. It was funny. She wouldn't stop crying, and I was like, okay, like. I thought it was me with the headphones because then when I took them off, she stopped, but she's fine right
Salacious.
now.
Salacious. Oh, what are you doing to the baby, Salacious? Oh, no wonder Helena Christensen doesn't like you, man. You probably frightened her off.
Right?
So, and she's married, Rum. She's married. If you're there listening to us, she's married. You know. So,
Knowing Rum, he don't care. He's like, I don't care. I don't care. She's married to me in secret. Yeah. Ah.
because
Oh. Yeah.
he'll ask the questions for us, and the key because he's on with the Kiwi boys tomorrow, myself. So,
Is he? Oh, okay.
yeah. So he'll ask the question, JJ. He'll ask the question. I'll tell you.
I hope so.
Yeah. Uh, 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 what? I know you probably can't fetch them because you've got your baby in your hand. But any new stuff? Any new stuff? Any new GI Joe kind of stuff?
I bought this guy, which I was very disappointed in. The Bat, Crimson Bat.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
very loose. This arm over here, if you look at him, it kind of like looks like it wants to pop off from right here.
Oh
Well,
wow.
both of them. Yeah, they're very. I think this wave, which came with. Oh, okay, okay. This wave with Outback, Falcon, Mad Marauder, Barbecue, and Cover Girl. I think these are the ones that they came real loose, and a lot of people have been disappointed with this wave. Just because, I mean, when I first saw this one, I was like, "Ooh, a Crimson Bat, cool! I love the red. I think it's gonna look glossy and nice." And then I opened them up, and I was like, I was putting on the new weapons, and I was like, man, this guy's real loose. But
Is
I
that
mean, it's
because
still a joke. That what?
I think quality control's gone down a wee bit for GI Joe.
Uh, yeah, kind of. I mean, I like the new shield where it's battle damage, but it has like the emblem of Cobra, and then it has like serial numbers, and I kind of like that. But I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Like I know they don't care. I know that all they care about is money, but still, I don't see Hot Toys making a mistake. I mean, they've made a few mistakes where the dolls, I shouldn't say the action figures, were slightly loose, but they would redo them again and bring them out a second again, and then you get a better
Mhm.
one. But
I,
I
I
mean,
wonder
it's just
I wonder if it's a new plastic. It shouldn't be, but I wonder if it's a new plastic. I wonder if it's a NECA plastic.
I feel it different from the other bat. The other bat was a lot tougher. I don't know if anybody. Linda, look, Linda says that she has the blue barbecue. So does it feel a lot stiffer than the old barbecue? Because I remember buying the Target exclusive barbecue, and he was real loose. I mean, some of them are hit and misses with the hip joints. Like this
Right.
guy, I'm telling you, this guy, they did a hip replacement on him on this bat, and one is taller than the other. So when I put him on, he's like one leg up, like higher than the other, and I'm like, okay, well that kind of bums me out, but oh well.
Okay, Linda. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. And
See,
then
I don't collect GI Joe, so I collect Star Wars. But I'm just asking the question.
oh, you want Star Wars? I
With
don't know if you can see them.
with the quality control. I mean, I'm
You
just
see that
guessing.
back
I'm just
there? That's
guessing.
the
Yeah.
that's the Hot Toy Boba Fett throne one, the one right in the middle. I wish I could go over there right now, but I'll try once she goes to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I got the Venom, and I got I think down there somewhere, I got there is the General Grievous Sideshow collectible one. So I do collect Star Wars, Peter,
Right.
but
Right.
I mostly
Yeah.
collect more of the Hot Toy, the Hot Toy Star Wars ones because I intend to like those more than the Black Series. I felt like the Black Series, I did like them at one time, in between when they were looking so good, but also the quality control. I don't know if you remember, but I remember when they first started, the quality control on them, like their faces and everything looked, I didn't like them. But then they
Yeah.
brought them out more and more, and they came out better, and I started collecting
Yeah.
them, and I was liking them. And then Hot Toys started doing more of these, and then I started looking at the quality control on theirs, and then compared to Black Series, which I know the price is way different, but I'd rather have that Boba Fett with the throne than the deluxe package that doesn't come with a throne or whatever. But it just depends on who wants to pay what and what they like. And
Mm.
I'm not gonna trash Black Series, but I think it's just Hasbro himself in general that are just not caring about anybody. They're always about fans first, but
You know, that's what I mean, Linda. I'm not bagging Star Wars or GI Joe. I just think, and I'm just asking the question, really, of have they changed their plastic? Maybe they haven't. I'm just saying. I mean, they've had quality control things like you've had with hips and arms falling off GI Joe figures, right? When they've been
especially
packaged.
Cover Girl. People have
Yeah,
opened Cover Girl up, and
I'm just asking the question: have they changed the plastic to be a little bit more brittle plastic, or a little bit more cheaper than usual? Which is horribly wrong, because it doesn't really bode well for collectors. Right? Yes, I am a new collector, so you got that right. So I don't know these stuff. I'm probably only speculating. Um,
well, hey, Blue Sasquatch. Yes,
yeah,
this is live, just in case if you say it. It's
yeah.
not replay.
He
I'm
will
glad
say
to
it.
see all of y'all coming in. Say it, Blue. Say it. That's your motto. But you know what, Peter? I mean, I'm not, like I said, I don't hate it. Like, A
No,
lot of
no,
people are
yeah,
like, this is
no,
crap.
no,
I
yeah,
mean, I'm still gonna collect them because I do love the GI Joes and I do love collecting them. But it does suck that when they're very flimsy or you feel like they're gonna break,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they kind of reminds me of it is in a way nostalgic because it reminds me when the GI Joes from the 80s, the 3 3/4 inch, went into a change to where I think they were starting to make them in Brazil. So a lot of the new GI Joes where they had the little screw on their elbows were cracking, and a lot of the crotches were breaking. So it's kind of like, oh, well, this is kind of like that in a way. So, I don't know. It's funny to me.
I mean, we all, I mean, as new collectors. Oh God, my Facebook went off again.
It's okay. It's okay.
um, but we all love to hate Hasbro or hate to love Hasbro, but we all collect still, don't we? I mean, we all collect G.I. Joe, we all collect Star Wars, we, have that fascination of nostalgic, or we have that, we just want it because it looks good, right? So I'm not bagging that. I'm just
Hmm.
saying, you, you're buying 30 to 35 to $20 worth of or more, right? Because it's going up of
Hmm.
action, right? You
Hmm.
buy it, you bring it home, you open the box, and then an arm or a hip is loose or falls off. It
Yeah.
shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen, right? To
No,
be
you're
quite
correct. You are
so.
correct on that. I mean, it's just yeah, for the pricing to go up, and then they're over here, giving us all these lies and saying, like about the pack, the plastic and everything, and you figured, okay, they're getting rid of plastic, so why raise the prices up? But again, they're gonna find ways to pick up stuff, and
Hmm.
I mean, it's just it's a business. I get it, and they saw the business boom more. I mean, it was booming before COVID a lot more, but it started booming a lot more during COVID when people were just buying more and more and more, and they saw pre-orders go up more and more and more. Because I mean, people were not pre-ordering; they were going out in the wild, like they say, the
Hmm.
wild toy hunting to go find these things. And then once you can't find them um, in the stores, I mean, it's pre-order time, and it got to the point where some people were just taking advantage of the pre-orders and buying more than what they were supposed to, not letting other
Hmm.
people have the chance, and they had to put a stop to that. So I mean, I get it, and it's just sad not to see what we used to see, because when I started in 07, 08, I was collecting the DC Universe classics and the Marvel Universe, the little 3 3/4 inch ones. Those were the ones I was really looking for.
Right.
And I remember seeing those DC Universe classics at 488, and I mean, you're talking about a 6-inch figure at 488 at the time. Then I saw it going up to 588, 688, 888, 1188, and then all of a sudden you started seeing none on the pegs, to where I would find a Batman or I'd find the hardest one. And it's like, what's going on now? Are people buying
Hmm.
these? I mean, what's the deal? And yeah, I mean, all that changed. I mean, but I don't know. I just I know some people say that they rather toy hunt than pre-order. I don't care. I mean, yeah, it's exciting to find it when you find it out there,
Hmm.
but to me, it's just exciting to get the toy, even if it's in the mail.
Yeah, and that's the yeah, it's the same old kind of discussion, really, isn't it? Really, it's you either pre-order it or go out and hunt for it. The excitement, right? It's it's, I mean, where do we hold the neutral ground in talking about it? Either be it bad or be it good or be exciting. Really, where do we hold that balance? That's the question, really, isn't it? And is it hard to answer or is it easy to answer? I mean,
I don't
it's
know. I guess it depends on everybody because, I mean,
the
to
individual,
me,
right? As the individual.
yeah,
So,
because I would say that if I start pre-ordering stuff and I get it in the mail and I'm not excited to get it in the mail like I would finding it out in the stores, then it's just me. And then maybe I should just give up buying toys because it seems like you're more excited of finding it out there instead of excited about the toy, if you get what I mean. And to me, I'm the opposite. I don't care if I get it in the mail. I'm excited to get the toy. So I that's why the pre-orders don't bother me. What does bother me is that they say, "Oh, pre-order." Like a good example would be I ended up pre-ordering the Falcon Captain America, the Sam Wilson Captain America. I had pre-ordered that one a long time ago, and they said, "Okay, it's gonna come in this month." Oh, expect a delay. Oh, we're sorry, delay. It got delayed for 6, 7 months. That I said, you know what? I just want my refund. I don't care if I lose the non-refundable deposit. I need money right now. I'll just delay that one. I also delayed my Scarlet Witch because that one was over and over, and they didn't have that problem before Sideshow. And I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, I'll just get them when I can get them. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's. Do you think? Here's a question for you. I'm probably going to get ripped by Linda or anybody in this way. Do you think it's harder to even talk about toys sometimes?
In what way?
I mean, if you like, having a conversation where you just want to be excited for toys, and
It's hard to talk about toys when they're, dildos and stuff like that. But I don't know about any other regular toys that we buy. But if you're buying, dildos and
yeah, I
pinky
mean,
up the stinky and all that stuff, then that's a different story. But
that's the
sorry,
topic.
guys.
That's the topic for pop my culture. So
I gotta, Joshy, get me into pop my culture one day. We'll talk about those toys.
what I'm trying to get at, I don't want to be controversial here because I'm not controversial here, but what I'm talking about is the all kind of uh, uh, the discussions or of not liking a toy or a brand,
Mm-hmm.
and then to not talking about the brand or the toy, having that balance. Where do you draw the line on bad mouthing a product or not bad mouthing a
Well,
product? So
I don't think um
it's a
I
tricky
don't I don't
question. I know.
no,
So
well, I mean, I think it's good to talk about some of the cons, like I would say about this wave with the bat. Like Linda said, some of the people have had that cover girl and the bats, they were messed up, and that's something to discuss, even though it's something negative. But you know what? Everybody's gonna have their likes and their not likes. Again, I don't really complain much. I did complain about it a little bit because I expected, but that's my fault. I really expected this one. I was look at how look. I'm barely moving and it's already like the
yeah,
waist.
I mean,
I was expecting. My hopes were high for this figure.
hmm,
You know, I mean the Python Patrol figure bat, the regular bat, they don't do this. And and me, I love red. I love the color red. So right away I was like, oh wow. And then to have it next to the Crimson Guards and next to the Twins, all right. And then getting it in, it's kind of like, what the heck? So um I put my hopes up high for this figure. That's where my downfall was, to say a little
right,
bit of negativity to the figure. But all in all, if I look at the figure, I still like it. I
yeah,
wish it was a shinier coating of red, and I wish the figure was a little bit tougher. But maybe I can fix that myself. But all in all, I mean, I try not to complain much because I'm still gonna buy the darn figure. That's how I am. That's
yeah,
how I
and
am.
that's the bottom line, isn't it? To
Yeah, I
go,
mean, I think you've known me for a good while, Peter. Peter, that I try not to be negative with anything. You know that. A lot of people know that. G-Force, Skillster. I don't like being negative. I don't. But sometimes there's a time where I'm human, and I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I feel that is negative. That you know, would be bothersome. And again, yeah, this bothered me because I expected more. I had my hopes
Yeah.
high when I shouldn't have. When I know, okay, we've seen Joes before in the past have a little bit of an issue. I shouldn't expect that from that. But since I was getting other Joes that were like very tight, very easy to fix, very, awesome, I shouldn't have gone and been like, oh, this one's gonna be awesome. No, it's just, you know, it just happens.
Nothing more wild than finding something in the wild. I mean, nothing like a thrill of finding something in the wild for retail or less. Um, that's you've got more stores than we have in New Zealand, so that's the big bonus for you guys, Rolando, G-Force, and whoever goes out, which is great, fantastic. So I live vicariously sometimes through you guys on Instagram or YouTube, finding these good deals because I mean, I'm not going to harp on about the price rises or because in this country it's quite a lot of money for a 6 inch
Yeah.
in these stores. So I'm not going to probably go down that kind of route. Because it's
Another thing, um, like that I like about like how G Force does his gauntlet toy hunts and all that, and Rolando finds stuff is that they live in areas where they have Targets, and Target carries a lot of stuff that you will find. I don't have a Target in my hometown. I do have a
right.
Walmart. Now the issue with my Walmart is that, and I guarantee you, I have a feeling it's the store, it's the department manager that is not picking out the items very well because 45 minutes away from my hometown, there's another town that has, and Rolando knows which one I'm talking about. It has a Walmart, and their Walmart's toy section is bigger, and they get
Oh,
a lot more figures that I have found over there that I can't find over here. And I'm like, man, like, I love this Walmart, but the manager over there knows what to get. Over here, this manager is just a young little person that doesn't care. She's just there to work.
right.
So it's kind of like, well, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So my
Yeah.
next best place to
Right.
find stuff is GameStop, even though
Oh,
it's a little
yeah.
more pricier, but
Oh,
I prefer
yeah.
going there because I'll find my stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes GameStop can be a little bit more,
You got it,
yeah,
Rolando.
better, to actually buy figures, right? I mean, even here at EB Games, which is another subsidiary name for GameStop, and
Electronic boutiques. I used to work
so,
there back in
yeah,
2002, 2003, so I know what EB Games is
yeah.
about.
So it's got a great selection. Still, for me, it's got lay-by because they cut that off with us in New Zealand. But I still get lay-by because I've been shopping there for bloody years. So, yay.
Let me ask you something, Peter. Not since you guys have electronic or EB Games, which back then it was called electronic boutiques. Did you ever hear of these? They're kind of like the Mystic Legions, but they're different. I don't know if they're the same company, but maybe somebody else in the chat knows. If the chat knows, tell me the company. But they used to be called Twisted Souls, I believe. Have you ever seen those?
Somebody might tell me, but I probably wouldn't know.
So
Um,
they're kind of like in the packagings of the Mystic Legions, but these
right,
Twisted Souls, or I think they were Twisted Souls. They're like figures that were kind of like your Hellraiser type,
right.
and they would have like this almost like your Hellraiser, Resident Evil figures that were disfigured. And
Oh,
I'm seeing that some people they're making a slight comeback. But I remember the electronic boutiques where I used to work; they used to have them there. I mean, they're the ugliest things. I was just like, ugh. But people are digging them, just like the Mystic Legions. I'm like, wow, like these are making comeback. Well, Mystic Legions have been around, but it seems like people are starting to get into those more. And I'm seeing the Twisted Souls come back
right.
around.
Oh, well, yeah. People will buy them because if they're looking twisted and evil, um, they'll sell like hotcakes because being if you're a horror fan and being a Mystic Legions fan, it probably goes hand in hand to actually
Hmm.
scoop them up. But I've never heard of them. I've only heard of Mystic Legions, and now Cosmic
Gotcha.
Legions. So I, I, we could have had them in our country and probably Australia. I'm not too certain, but if they're making a comeback, I think they're probably doing self justice and coming back in 2023 because
Hmm.
people will be scooping them up. So, um, uh, yeah. So, when did you work at EB Games or Sonic?
EB
Or
Games back in 2002, 2003.
so they were called EB Games
They
back
were
then.
called Electronic Boutiques before they
Okay.
were changed to
Oh,
EB Games.
EB Games, right?
Yeah. So it was interesting that I think I found a Twisted Soul. I'll see if I can shoot it to you and upload it, and then so you can see what I'm talking about. This one, I think it was McFarlane, I guess, that did him, but I'll see if I can find it and then show you. But
Right.
yeah, I was there. That was actually my part-time job. I was maybe 21, 22 at the time before I became a therapist. My first job at 18 was at a arcade store or at an arcade. It used to be called Aladdin's Castle, and that's where I learned, the Tekken games and um, Killer Instinct, the Marvel vs. Capcom, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my most favorites. The Time Crisis. I mean, I would know all those games. And then I went from there to Foot Locker, and I was full time at Foot Locker when we had Foot Locker. And then I was doing part time with Electronic Boutiques. I would work maybe 2-3 days out of the week, and people would ask me like, "Do you have a life?" Because I was always working and going to school. I was full time work, full time school, and part time at Electronic Boutiques. But I was a busy man. Now I'm calming it down because I'm older, have kids, so it's kind of like, see if I can find this. Uh, I'm trying to look for that
Right. Yeah.
Twisted Soul thing. Let's see.
I'll try and get it
No,
on. I'll try and get it on this, but I don't know.
you know what?
Might be.
I'm gonna share it to you. I don't know if you got it.
Oh, okay.
It's right there. So if you see that one, that's a Twisted Soul right there. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Let me see. Um, there you go. I don't know. Can you see that? Oh, it didn't go to the other channel. It didn't go to the other one. Let's try this. Here, let's exit out of that one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop the screen on that one, and then I'll show you this one. The window. Um, I'm trying to get it. Let me see. Yeah, it's actually by McFarlane Toys,
Oh, is
from
it?
what I'm
Oh, okay.
seeing. Yeah, it's right there.
Boom.
Those are your Twisted Souls or Tortured Souls. I'm sorry, not Twisted, Tortured Souls. And that's how some of them looked.
Man, they are a little bit,
They're scary.
scary.
They're
Yeah.
very scary. I was like, oh my god.
Is that supposed to
I'm
be
a,
like a Medusa scarecrow kind of feel to it?
with a little
Soul,
Freddy Cougarness.
yeah, damned souls or something, feel to it. Good
Yeah.
artwork. So,
And you had different types where one was having so many heads on ropes or on strings. It was, they were creepy. I'm like, yeah,
sadistic.
Spawn on crack. Yeah, and I didn't like them. I was like, who the heck? When I
Ah.
forgot that McFarlane made them. Now that I see it, I was like, oh yeah, it is McFarlane.
Yeah, typical McFarlane, claws on creepy stuff. So uh, his Spawn stuff is quite good though.
Oh yeah,
So,
I just wonder where he got this idea with these because I'm like, like, where in the world do you come up with
Yeah,
this idea? Because this
maybe he
is
just looked at the license, JJ, and said, "Look, that'll be good as a toy again." So, um,
well, they would sell. People would actually
yeah,
buy them at that
yeah.
time, and I was just like, well, I wouldn't buy one. I
I
just
I wouldn't buy one either. I'm with you, JJ. It would scare me half to death. Yeah. You
yeah.
know, imagine that in a sick a what is it? Hot toy scale. It would frighten the
Oh
crap
hell!
out of me.
Well, he made some in a 12-inch scale. I'm
God.
like, nah, hell no. Like, no, no, you keep your twisted souls or tortured souls.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
keep that. No, no, no.
So it's just like, yeah, it'll sell, McFarlane, but I tell you what, it scares the crap out of me. So yeah, sorry, mate. So I'm not gonna. Yeah, so
Man, to be
um,
honest with you, I don't like talking bad about toys because
yeah.
I mean I may be weird or conspiracist or weirdo, but I talk to my toys nice because I don't know if they come alive like Toy Story, and I don't need them to come and attack me. I want them to like me. So
It's,
like yeah.
but I tell you what, JJ. Again, or parrot myself, they'll sell like hotcakes. He's probably onto a bloody good thing here because they've probably got a fan base, with the
Yeah.
horror fan base and the mythic legions fan base that it'll just sell. He'll be rolling in it. I mean,
Well, he hasn't made them anymore. Those were like 20 years ago.
right?
So I don't know if they're like I know they're making a and what I meant and I apologize. Like what I try to say is that they're making a comeback where the people that have those are selling them and people are actually buying them a little bit
Ah,
more than the price than
right.
what it is. I apologize for that. They're not out in reach. They might be. I really don't know, but I haven't seen them. And I
Right.
know that I know Walmart never carried them. I don't know about Target, but I know that electronic boutiques. I was like, a game store has these? Like, you guys are crazy.
It's uh, you gotta love them. You gotta love them, don't you? Toys, you just gotta love them. So,
Heck yeah.
um,
And we didn't have that many toys back then. I think electronic boutiques back 20 years ago would only carry McFarlane figures. I don't remember Legends. I don't remember any of those. But like those Tortured Souls. I know that we would get those football ones, the basketball ones. So I think they had McFarlane made deals with electronic boutiques and with GameStop at the times when Walmart wouldn't carry much of McFarlane.
um, yeah,
Um, I mean, yeah, they carry like the sports stuff, but you wouldn't see the Spawns, you wouldn't see the DC universe, and now it's like you see all McFarlane and stuff. You see the Last Airbender, you see the My Hero Academia, the what is it? The other ones like the avatars. He's
mm,
coming around. The Warhammer 40,000. I mean, he stepped it up with picking up a lot of these licenses, and I'm like, wow, like amazing that McFarlane would pick that up. And then the beautiful thing about it is that he's not really picked up his prices that much
no, he
compared to
hasn't.
others that are like, you know
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like,
I mean,
I want my stuff to sell, and I want it to be, I mean, and that's awesome of him to do that. That's very awesome.
yeah,
I
he's
mean, come
he's
on, like, go ahead.
he's not pricing anybody out of the market because he's not changing his prices.
Huh?
So that's if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does.
So
And then, again, I'm gonna say this, and this is where the negativity comes. Like, not from me. I'm just saying what I think is kind of messed up. But he comes out with the Batmobile from the Michael Keaton Batmobile from the Flash movie at $60, I believe it is, and it's a big piece. And
yeah,
you're telling me that Hasbro says that retailers don't want to sell, don't can't sell vehicles like the GI Joe vehicles. I mean, come on, you gotta be kidding me, because that's all a bunch of crock. Because you know if he's selling vehicles, McFarlane, like that Batman sold, like the Batwing. You're telling me that you don't think GI Joe figures bigger than the Ram cycle is not going to sell? You're telling me that an Oz Striker for a 6-inch figure is not going to sell at Walmart? It's going to sell, and I just think that that's just laziness. But whatever.
I think McFarlane's on the ball with this his prices, and plus, uh, it's a different company. It's a whole different kettle of fish, really. To be quite honest with you, so he's been around as well
For a
quite a few
long
years,
time.
for a long time. I think he knows the base of his fans, be it
Mm,
DC, be it other lines. Um, uh, so I think he knows his base where he's at. That's pretty good. I think for the Hasbro people and the fans, yes, we all do have our gripes and groans, but really we're still going to buy them, right? We're still going to buy GI Joe. We're still going to be buying Black Series Marvel TVC, or we're going to still buy what is it, Marvel Legends and Marvel MCU. We're still going to buy that because we're collectors. We love toys.
yeah.
Um, I think. Um,
And Transformers, Linda. Joe's and Transformers is Hasbro's
Transform.
cakes. But I was gonna
Um,
say, Linda, what about you say Todd pays Todd, but what about DC? That's not his baby. That's DC Comics. What about My Hero Academia? That's from that Funimation anime. What about like his Spawn is his. Um, what else does he do? The Mortal Kombat's, those are not his. You
no,
know,
it's
Avatar, isn't that a Disney thing? Doesn't that have the rights to Disney's?
Hasbro,
I
isn't it?
think
Disney.
the what Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar's Disney. It's on Disney, I think.
So it is a Disney company, right? Like it's owned by
Yeah,
Disney. The
yeah, it's on
Avatar
Disney.
movies.
Yeah, I think. I'm only guessing here. So, I think Avatar's on Disney Plus. I'm sure of it. So,
Okay.
um, uh, but I mean, McFarlane's got he's bought a couple of new lines. I don't ask me what they are, but he's bought another line he's doing as well. So, um, uh, I just guess he knows his fan
Yeah.
base. I think he's more.
Avatar:
Mm,
Way of the Water, Gilster. The blue ones, not the Last Airbender one. Which I think Last Airbender belongs to Nickelodeon, so wouldn't he be paying
yeah,
Nickelodeon?
yeah,
And you know what,
yeah.
Linda? Sometimes I agree with you. Sometimes some of our Paladin figures look like glorified statues. I agree with you there.
And their face sculpts can be a little bit left to be desired sometimes, but they're all right. So
Yeah, like that Michael Keaton one that he looks like Ray Liotta.
yeah, yeah. But if you buy the masked one, he looks all right, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
So, um, um, uh, yeah. JJ, to be quite honest with you, I get to the point that where, yes, I want to discuss the problems with the toys, but I also get to the point that I, I just want to have fun with my collection and just
Hmm.
collecting toys where, and not have that problem of listening to somebody's, not to bag on anybody else's YouTube channel because I love them all, I love you all, but not to get into that side of things. You know
The
what I mean?
renting thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the ransom thing. So just enjoy your collection. And, have grubs and groans. Yeah,
I agree
but
with you there 100%.
um, I mean, I think toys should be enjoyed. Hunting should be enjoyed.
Hmm.
Even if they don't stand really well in
Like
shape.
G4 says about the McFarlanes, and he's right. They suffer weaker plastic and articulation. And yeah, sometimes that's a big problem, but I still collect them and I like them. I mean, I'm happy with them. And especially, I think that's the reason why a lot of people get mad with Hasbro, because it seems like their figures are becoming like McFarlane, but the prices are going up and McFarlane stays down. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, to each their own.
Yeah, true. Exactly. True. To each their own. So, what's that?
That's true, Linda. I agree with you there too. Especially like, I don't know about this one, but see, like now a lot of them you don't see the pins anymore. They're hiding the pins,
Right.
and
Pinless?
that's cool. Yeah, and that's where I agree with Linda. Like big time, Linda. I give you props for saying that. You're right. A lot. Even I think Black Series are starting to have like pinless. And McFarlane's still you see the pins but again, I don't care. I just want the figure that I want, and I love that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to enjoy your collection and what you collect, right? Um, I just bought.
Here, Black Series and DC are the same. Oh yeah, that's right. Linda's in Australia, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's gonna be different over there. I understand.
What's she
You know what,
saying?
Peter and Chad? Can you give me one bit? Let me see if I can put her on the bed. She actually knocked out.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So I'll be right back if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yep. Go for it. Go
Okay.
for it.
Enjoy the background if you guys want.
Yes.
I'm not okay.
Now that Jay is gone, putting his baby to bed because she's asleep. Anyway, I'm glad you are sticking around with me and JJ on the P.G.M show, having a fantastic discussion. And yes, yeah. I hope you are enjoying your collection or buying your collection. Um, uh, want more cult film figures like Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, uh, Ironclad, Time Bandits, and more. I agree with you there. Time Bandits would be awesome, actually. If anybody got that license, it'd be fantastic. And Pulp Fiction, yeah. I think NACA could actually do that. NACA, I think. They've cornered the market, I think, to do film action figures, 6 inch, maybe even a little bit taller than 6 inch, 7 inch, maybe. Maybe keep it at 6 inch. Like Back to the Future, Gilster, yeah, that'd be a good idea. So, yeah, good idea, Gilster, good idea.
All right, sorry, buddy.
That's right, yeah. Gilster.
So I got these of Star Wars. You're going to say like I like the statue or the helmets and then the lightsabers. So I do have a few of those Star Wars things. And yeah, I put the battery on them. So
That's me.
so and then I
There
got
we go.
the Ray one too. Let me see if I can.
Brilliant.
There we go. There you go. So I got both of those, and I like them. They're pretty cool. So I got a few
Awesome.
Star Wars things.
Are you getting the Yoda lightsaber?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Since I'm short like Yoda, I'm trying to turn it off. There we go. Since I'm short like Yoda, I definitely want that one. And I love the way they stand now on these little stands. So that's cool.
Right.
So yeah. So where were we at, my friend?
Oh, actually finally figured out how to actually put you up at a big. So I'm
That's all
really
right.
useless in technology. I'm really.
It's all right. We all learn some way somehow. We all
I
end
just
up
had to
learning. So.
slide you over, and it made you bigger. Then, oh God, why couldn't I do
It's
that
okay.
last time? You know, technology and me just do not mix sometimes. Yes. I can just see the chat laughing at me hysterically.
No, they're
Um,
cheering you on, buddy.
Yeah. That lightsaber, Yoda lightsaber, is awesome. I wouldn't mind it myself, but it's
Thank
just
you.
really, really pricey.
Even the Count Dooku, I like. I have it all the
Mm.
way up there. That was one of my favorite ones, and I like the way Count Dooku's hilt goes sideways. So that's actually the reason why I got the Count Dooku.
Thanks, thanks, G-Balls. Yeah.
We
um,
all love Peter G4s. He's a wonderful guy.
yeah. Even when I get things wrong and fluffle every time, I love it too.
All
So,
right, it's all right.
um, it's my personality, man. Personality. Right. Yeah, it's as Linda pointed out. Yes, I am a new collector in this thing. So I like it even more when I like the stuff I'm getting and not doing it impulsively. You
Yeah.
know, I used to do impulsively buying action figures when
Like,
um,
give me one that you were impulsively buying that you didn't really care for. Like, what brand or what figure or brand that you didn't like, or cartoon.
um, I'm going to say this. It would be half a dozen of Mandalorian figures that different episodes and different series that I got a lot more of than I didn't want. The characters I didn't want.
Yeah,
um, and gaming greats figures that I really didn't need to actually buy. Um, that's I bought an impulse buy for that.
gotcha.
Uh, a lot of yes, a lot of Marvel MCU figures that I bought impulsively from different films that I didn't really have to buy, and I wasn't too excited for them. Um, so I'm kind of getting into that situation where I'm getting in more of a TVC kind of. Shut up! I'm not here. So
They heard you. They heard you're talking bad about them. They're coming after you.
hide. It's coming up here.
Uh oh! I told you.
Uh,
I'm kidding.
Jack. No, not that kind. Sorry, just a horrible joke. Uh, um, what I'm saying, is my collection is, it's three 7 5 for the win. I'm getting into that stage where I want to actually world build. Different
Hmm.
little scenes from Jurassic Park to Star Wars to RoboCop. I get a
Yeah,
three quarter RoboCop and make a little diorama, and but put it up on my walls, so I have something to look at. Have a little bit of display. Um, I'm going to cut back on my buying of Black Series, but only get the ones that I want, or like, and really
yeah.
excited for. So that's my collection going into that kind of, collecting wise. Because it's all about the room, isn't it, JJ? It's you can have
I
uh,
mean, what you see in here is nothing what I have. I have a 10 by 15 storage full of crates,
wow.
and
Um,
I have to go through little aisles because it's just I went from a 5 by 10 storage unit to a 10 by 15, and all the stuff that I had and my parents when I was with my parents, we made a built-in closet, which was
right.
about 8 by 8, and a stack full of figures. I still have stuff in there, and I still have stuff in the closet, in the attic. And my mom was like, "I'm gonna just sell all this stuff." I was like, "No, like just let me get it little by little, and I'll take it to the storage." And that's what I've been doing. And little by little, I've been opening up more figures here and
I
there.
would have
But I
cried.
mean,
I would have cried if my parents see that. I would have no.
Oh no, she knows not to touch them because she knows they're worth something. So it is what it is. But she just tells me, get them out if you can. I was like, okay. I mean, I have a lot of statues over there that I need to get
Right.
out.
Yeah.
I was collecting statues at one time, gentle
Okay.
giants,
Right.
the Kotobukiyas, all those, not just simple little statues. I'm talking about the big statues, like the one that I showed on Instagram, the Hulk, those kind of statues, and I mean, I have a 2 foot, I think 2 to 3 foot tall apocalypse
Oh,
statue from
wow.
Sideshow.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to bring them out sometime and show it, but from statues, I went to Hot Toys, so that's where I kind of changed it up. And the reason I was buying statues, because I love the way they look. And one thing that I can tell you about a statue is that statues, whether you open them up or not, they never lose their value. And if you open, let me just say, when you open them up, they never lose their value. Never. They actually go up. So if you take
Okay.
it out of the box, they don't lose their value. The only time they lose their value is if you get a crack or the paint comes off or if you break it or whatever. But other than that, if they're limited edition and you open it up and put it on display and don't touch it or don't do anything to it, you put it in a vanity set or whatever, and then you put it back in the box, you can sell it at regular or even higher because they don't lose their value. It's amazing.
Hmm. I haven't got a statue at all. I don't,
No?
'cause
Oh.
no. I love them, but again, it's just price wise for me. Um, uh,
Yeah, I
and
mean, if you want a good one, if you like I said, if you wanted a Gentle Giants or Kotobukiya or Bowen doesn't make them anymore. But when Bowen would do the marble statues, oh my goodness, those were detailed and they were limited, and they don't make them anymore. And now they're like,
they
oof.
are beautiful looking for detail for the artists. I must say, I've seen some on different YouTube channels just actually saying, these statues are very, very beautiful. You wouldn't want to drop them, because they can get
Man,
heavy. Um,
yeah. Look at
what
what
are they?
Linda said.
What's that?
She has 14 Gentle Giant statues and some 6 scale Kotobukiyos. It's like, wow.
Well,
Or
Linda,
one fourth. I think she said 1/4 Gentle Giant statues. I'm sorry.
very
Gentle Giants.
statuesque. Very
Yeah.
statuesque of you, Linda. Very statuesque of you. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, yeah. I had to do it.
Star Wars
Had to.
bus.
No. Um.
But
Anything
I got
lately?
away. I got away from statues too, buddy. I mean, it gets hard because you want to keep the box that they came in, and
Right.
then you
Yeah.
display them, and they take up a lot of room. They do.
I mean, what are they made of? They're made of clay, and then or are they made of uh,
I'm not sure. I didn't really look into that.
porcelain or something like that? They look
They're
porcelain.
they're they're very hard. I mean, they'll break. They're like glass, but I think it's more
Right.
of I guess like a clay with something else because they're very heavy statues. They're
They
not your
probably
they're not your
kiln.
PB they're not
Right.
your PVC statues that you
Right.
feel
They're
them
probably
light. They're not like
yeah.
that.
Right. They're probably specialized. Well, not specialized, but they're probably clay and then kilned for durability. So that's it's I would say I would love to get into clay work. I'm preparing something like that for clay work for
Cool.
my own art kind of thing, but I haven't got there yet. But I'm, I've had this idea floating in my head to actually do DC's question in clay form, but very thin, a very
Hmm.
thin statue kind of character. Um, because I've been watching a lot of Dr. Dave Gruder on his
Hmm.
channel, and he's bloody amazing. If
Oh yeah, I know what you're
so
talking about. Yeah.
uh,
G4 says it's resin of some sort or a sand. Never heard of those.
Resin
Sand,
of sort of sandstone.
sandstone.
So that must be a mixture of
Probably.
yeah. Um,
Interesting.
oh yeah, resin. Yes, it's a resin mold,
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
but resin sometimes can be a little bit more lighter. G. I know. I'm
Sandstone is what he's trying to say.
oh sandstone. There we go. Sandstone. Yeah, could be right there. Um, there we go.
Oh, you
Some
see, there's.
are too heavy for me to pick up. So, will be equally heavy for me to pick up. I'm a small light fella, so it'll be picking me up instead of you know. Um, yeah, it's again they are beautiful to actually to look at because they're so detailed.
Yeah.
Shading is beautiful on it, beautiful on especially Marvel characters. You know, it's
You should
uh,
see the Walking Dead one I have.
oh,
Golly,
really?
that one
Oh,
is very detailed. It's I think it's the comic based one though, not the show. But you see Rick holding on to a zombie, kicking another one, and then shooting another one. I think if I
oh, nice.
recall the statue,
Oh,
man. But that thing, you have to be very careful because the little parts just break, and it's like, oh my god, like. And I think I had a Michonne. I have a Michonne one from Walking Dead as well. I don't think I ever picked up the Negan statue. So
yeah. I did you. I didn't get into the Walking Dead.
I did I did get into it just because I believe it or not, that's one of my regrets. If anybody says anything of a regret or a mistake, is when I was in college. That's when Walking Dead the book was being made. I ended up buying the first issue and I did not like it because it was black and white. That was the only reason I didn't like the freaking Walking Dead comic book. So I gave it to a friend. Sure enough, he didn't take care of it either. And look at that comic book now. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I just had. So now that I get any number one issue comic, I don't throw it away. I keep it.
Do you think the series went on too long? I mean,
Well, the problem with the series is that they went off with different other characters because a lot of people didn't realize that Walking Dead, the comic book, was based on Rick Grimes' story.
right,
You know, it
right.
wasn't about the walkers or anything like that. It was about how Rick Grimes had to keep his family safe, how he met others, and how to try to keep them safe, which they did to a certain point until he disappeared. But then when you started getting into the episodes of the governor, about Negan, Maggie, and all that, that's when it just went off south. And a lot of people that I guess didn't read the comics got disappointed with Glenn dying, and it was like Glenn was gonna die. It happened in issue 100, one of the worst ways to go, and he died. Just they took two people in that one, which what's his name? The redhead guy, not
Um,
Eugene's friend. I forgot his name, but that was with Rosita and them. Um, I have it in the tip of my tongue; it'll come out. But he didn't die that way with a hit with the bat. It was changed up. You
okay.
know, he was actually shot with an arrow behind the in the back of the head, and it came out through his eye. What was his name? It started with an A. Um, Not Arnold. Anyways, it'll come to me. But it changed a lot. Like Andrea didn't die. The governor didn't kill Andrea. Actually, Carol's the one that died in the books. Andrea survived. Andrea was the one that actually dated Rick. Rick lost his hand in the comics, and this one he didn't lose it. Um, the governor didn't have short hair. The governor looked like a
Oh,
freaking
okay.
punk rocker, you know. Um, the like I said, Glenn, he got killed the way he got killed, but Dale survived for a long time. He didn't die like in the second season. And actually, Dale was the first one that was actually hooking up with Andrea. They were dating, and Dale was the one that actually lost his leg and had a pirate leg. And then in the show, it was Herschel that lost his leg. They changed it up a lot.
Yeah, well, with that, do you think they changed it because they had license to actually change it?
Well, Rick, what's his name? Rick. I forgot his name, but the one that created Walking Dead. He had ties to the show and producing, but I think he wanted to do that because he didn't want to follow his book, because then people that did read the comics would know. Because like Tyree didn't die the way he died in the show. He was actually the one that got his head cut off by the governor instead of Herschel.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think they changed it up. And you know what, Linda? Z Nation was awesome. I loved Z Nation. Abraham. Thank you, Abraham. That was his name.
You see, I got onto not Z Nation, but I heard it was really good, or Walking Dead. I got onto the Last of Us show, which I love to mention.
Which totally different, which I love too. Z Nation, the reason I like that was because, you know, the guy that actually was half human, half zombie, that he got bit, but he never turned zombie, was able to control the zombies and stuff like that. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry. You know, but it was awesome the way they did things differently in that one. The thing that I like about,
was that with Cliff Curtis in that?
I think that was with Cliff Curtis. What was that with Cliff Curtis, Linda? I believe it was, if I recall. I think it was.
Because this was before Walking Dead, wasn't it? It was like
it was actually coming out around about the same time as Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I think the first season of Walking Dead happened, and then Z Nation came out on Sci-Fi over here. I don't know of anywhere else over there.
It felt like to me, JJ, that Z Nation probably wasn't connected to Walking Dead, but it felt like a precursor to the Walking Dead. It did feel like, but it wasn't.
It was like it's kind of like your B budget movies where, you know, they make you know how they make like what is it, like the Transporter? They make the Transporter movies with Jason Statham, and they have to come over here with the you know, they make a B budget movie saying The Rider or whatever. You know, there's always like, you know, Sci-Fi makes those kind of movies, kind of like how they made the Lake Placid, and then they made their own Lake Placid, or like Eight-Legged Freaks made their movie, and then they made something about spiders. So that's how I felt like Z Nation was. It was its B budget show from Walking Dead, but it still had something that was truly amazing about it. And then they had DJ Qualls, who was a part of Z Nation, who he's come out in movies and came out in Supernatural. And, you know, one of the things I remember that they would call the zombies puppies and kittens. That's what they would call them in Z Nation. Oh, puppies and kittens, because they couldn't call them walkers or zombies, you know.
Oh, right,
but it was interesting how they would do that. And you know, the guy that got bit would be like, you guys truly are like puppies and kittens. And I thought it was awesome, you know. And I think Netflix made a Black Summer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Black Summer is a prequel to Z Nation, according to what people say.
Right. That's probably what I'm trying to get at. That's
but Last of Us, the thing that I liked about that one, Peter, is that I can see that happening in real life, just like how 28 Days Later is a true zombie movie that can happen in real life, where they make a virus that really affects the brain like that.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen. The whole thing with Last of Us, that they used a fungus instead of a virus, was very, very smart, because there is that fungus that does that to insects. And what if it does mutate to humans?
Yeah.
I like that.
there is a possibility, yes, going to humans, a strong possibility. Uh, yeah, but with our kind of scientific knowledge, it's I don't think we're gonna be there. So
I mean, you
um,
never know. I mean, anything could happen.
mm,
Anything's possible. I mean,
mm,
the way a lot of these humans, I don't want to say anything, or scientists are playing with God. If you
yeah,
have faith, I'm
we
not trying to
we all
insult
we all
anybody.
become ants. We all become ants.
But yeah, but the storyline of Last of Us was really great. I enjoyed each and every episode.
Oh yeah.
Except kind of like the last
Mm.
episode was the only thing I didn't enjoy about the last episode is it was too fast, but I understood why. But even the one where um, Fred and his boyfriend, like I'm not about like I love women, I'm straight, but even for them to be a couple, two men that were a couple, I didn't care that they were gay. I didn't. I just
No,
love the
no,
way that they showed
yeah,
their interest of
yeah,
surviving and how
yeah.
they cared about each other and how Fred, I think that was his name, Fred, said, he dies
Oh,
with him, and he's like,
Frank,
that wasn't in the cards, and he's
Frank,
like, I'm an old man, I deserve this, and that
Frank
was
and Bill.
awesome.
Yeah,
Frank and
Frank.
Bill, there you go.
Yeah. Yes, and it played very well because um, from the game it was a lot different, a lot different. Of course, it was because it's
Of
the game.
course.
But this one in this episode, it played out beautifully well with also with Tess and Joel coming into almost the middle of that episode with a flashbacks scene. It
Hmm.
just uh, had a cohesiveness in it of it, because they did know Joel and Bill did know Joel and Jess, and it portrayed well for the game as well because um, you know, uh, but yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, 100%. The Last of Us show was just brilliantly told. Um,
I
and it put gaps in to uh, the whole series that you haven't seen
Yeah.
before in the game.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Now, one thing that I don't want for this show to happen, since it's an HBO show, is that I don't want it to be kind of like what happened with Game of Thrones. That Game of Thrones started off wonderfully great, and then somewhere along the line it just started dragging and dragging, and then they just didn't know what to do. And of course, because R. Martin didn't get to finish the books, but in this case, I just don't want them to do that. I know what happens in the second story and everything of the game, but do you think that's going to happen right away?
No, I don't think
I
it's.
don't either.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, as good as they are, and they're very, very good. I think the story will hold for The Last of Us Part Two, and I think they'll implement scenes that we haven't seen before in the game for Part Two. I think it'll probably be better because they're getting the actress who played in the next one, who played uh, Abby. Is it Abby? I think it's Abby.
Abby.
Abby to play in the series itself, which is really good.
Yeah.
And I think it'll. I think. Uh, I think it'll be. It won't be the same as the game, but it will be have the essence of The Last of Us Two in it, and it'll be better. I think. Um,
But do you think, spoiler alert, guys, if you haven't played the game, but do you think
yeah,
Joel will die on this one?
yeah. Joel will die in this
So
one as
you
well.
think Pedro Pascal is gonna just be done with season 2 and that's it? Like you
Yeah.
think? Because I
I
have
think.
a feeling that they're not gonna do it right away.
Oh no, no, no! They won't. They'll go up to the point where Abby tracks him down Jackson, but it'll take a long time until the episode gets there,
Yeah.
right? And then and then he'll get. They might do it differently. They might not do it where Abby is beating the crap out of him with a golf club, right? They might do it differently and have that whole story revolve. I don't think Pedro Pascal is going to be necessarily out of the whole series because he's dying. I think there might be flashbacks or fillers, right? As you know, as to the game that we see Joel as a protector of Ellie still, and she's older when she's in that
Hmm.
dance floor arena when she's getting threatened by
Yeah,
because of their kiss on the dance floor. So I
yeah.
think we'll see Joel in that context, contest, con, oh, you know what I
Content.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's okay.
we'll
I
see.
get you.
I can't hard to get that out with sometimes.
It's all right.
Context. That's the one. Context. That's one.
Content.
But it's like I mean, everybody's. Oh, you played the game, right? Where all those little
Yeah,
scenes that we see Joel sit on his porch or stand on his porch drinking coffee and talking to Ellie, right? And Ellie kind of confronts him, or where Ellie goes into the hospital and she finds out the truth that
yeah.
she was the only one. He comes riding on a horse and tells we see Joel. I don't think Pedro Pascal's he'll be in it, but he'll be in that sense of scenes, of flashback scenes, or scenes
Okay.
that happened throughout Jacksonville or something like that. So
Yeah.
uh, uh, that, and I think by incorporating those scenes in, I think we're going to see more of that in the episodes to come. But I think Neil Druckmann will probably want that scene where he dies horribly, just to put that context into it. So
Maybe a
that's my
season finale or third season. They might do
yeah,
that.
exactly, yeah, because uh, I think there's going to come a time where you might see The Last of Us Part 3 game come out first, not the series. That might take a
Yeah,
long time, but I think they are working on. I really hope they're working on it because I love that story. I hope they're
it
working
was
on
really
part.
good.
Yeah, so um, that's what I think. I could be totally wrong. um,
So going back to the chats, Gilster says love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I think Breaking Bad, of course, is a very good show
mm,
for what it is.
I love
Better Call
Breaking.
Saul is right behind it just because it is a spinoff.
Yeah, yeah,
Linda
yeah.
says Black Summer ended a little weird. Yeah, it did, Linda. It was kind of odd the way it just seemed like they didn't know what to do. And then Gilster says like what happened with Lost also. Yeah, Lost just went off
It got lost
course.
in its own, and it's got lost on its own
It got
island.
yeah. It it,
It's
it just it just
um,
shoom and I mean that happens to a lot of those shows. We just get they just you don't know what they don't know what to. It goes from
yeah,
here to there, and you don't know what to
yeah.
do anymore. I mean,
They run out of storylines. That's why they sometimes they just run out of storylines, and they just think on this. We've got to end this somehow, and they ended it stupidly or weirdly. So
like what do you think, Pete? And since you're a Star Wars guy, like
mhm.
a lot of people saying that season 3 of Mandalorian was like they didn't know what to do, they didn't know what to write. Personally, I felt like now there was one episode that I thought was very boring, and that's the one with the professor, which I didn't care for. But in all, I love the season, the way it went, the way it ended. It ended like it didn't. There didn't have to be another season, but we know there's gonna be another season, so it doesn't bother me at all. But I feel like they wanted to end the whole Mandalorian with the Mandalore thing, and then
Right.
go back to Din Djarin,
Mm.
and Din Grogu now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I all in all, I think I thought it was great. I didn't have no anything bad to say about it. And I know a lot of people are like, this, that, and I'm like, I go, you got to see it in the point of view where, like, the whole Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians. they're back together. They're in
Mm.
Mandalore. And that story, I feel like that story has kind of ended. Not that he doesn't need help from Bo-Katan, because he can always ask for the help and the Mandalorians, which is kind of
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
But at the same time, yeah, they're doing that's how they're gonna they're gonna end the series with Mandalorian. It's with the movie. Like
yeah.
that's
I
so that's
mean,
cool.
yeah. I mean, and I think is it Dave Filoni who's going to actually do the movie for that, just to tie it up in one big bow. But they're going to. I think they're probably going to squeeze out another two, at least two more seasons, at
I
least two more
think I
seasons.
haven't heard of a season 5. I heard the season 4. I
Yeah,
think they are gonna push through with BOBF,
yeah,
Book of Boba Fett. I think they're gonna push through with one more season on that. Of course, Ahsoka's gonna be a part of that Mandoverse. I don't know about Acolyte and all that, but the way it's going, I kind of like that, because we've never seen a TV show end in a movie. That's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean,
And
I think it's a mighty fine question to actually say that uh, uh, season three, Mandalorian has been up and down, of course. Where yeah, seeing the scientist story, but it had merit. That story, it may be
it
boring,
did.
but it had merit because she came back and she's a spy for
Hmm.
Gideon, so that had merit.
Clone
I,
Gideon, I would say. I don't think that was the real Gideon.
no, exactly, and that's the kind of that's the cliffhanger, really, isn't it? Which people are talking about and not seeing. It was a clone because he didn't have his mustache, right? Or right, so, but the thing is that with this storyline with was it Jack Black and
Lizzo,
Lizzo and Christopher Lloyd.
Doctor Brown McFly, or Doctor Emmett Brown.
Yeah, that was confusing. But if you read between that line, that might come round and bite people up the ass because that could have something to do with season four, right? So that whole droid thing, because that's the basics of the story, the droid thing, right? So
Yeah,
they could come back into not circulation as much, but they could be troublesome and the
yeah,
before being speculative here. So I don't know, but that could be a plot point in that kind of storyline. But
I get you.
also the writing, yes, it fell down. At times it does fall down because you don't know which direction you're going in. So and John Favreau is probably saying in the script, oh no, that doesn't work, we'll have to change that there, we'll have to change that there too. Oh, we can't do that because we haven't got time for that, right? So we'll have to change that, right? And they've got money to the means of doing that kind of thing. But also you've got advice coming from Kathleen Kennedy, who sits on her producing chair. You've got some other producers sitting in the line producer chair, right?
Yeah,
People around like Dave Filoni will come in and say that, well, that's not going to work because that's got to have to connect to Ahsoka series, right? So
yeah.
and that's
And
going to have
that's
to
his
connect.
baby. He can't.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna touch that. Not even Kathleen Kennedy's gonna touch it. It's all him.
no.
Yeah,
But the thing is that with writing, it can be very difficult. And if you don't like the writing, right, and some people don't, look at Book of Boba Fett, right? That fell down because of the writing, right? And even Tamara Morrison said something to along the lines where not Kevin, sorry, John Favreau was on the plane, right? Tamara Morrison was talking to John Favreau on the plane while he was writing the Book of Boba Fett on the plane, right? He was writing an episode on the plane
yeah.
probably. He says, "Look, I can't, uh, I can't deal with this. Boba Fett needs to be more mysterious. Why is he this way, right?" John Favreau didn't take any notice of that because the scripts were already written, right? The
Yeah.
idea was already played out. This is my opinion, only my opinion, people. So writers have a very difficult task to actually get what they need to get on celluloid or digital, right? It
Hmm.
can be hit and miss. I think Mandalorian, if you read between the lines, and I'm being really nice and kind here, it all fits. Even if you didn't like it, all fits. It will
Yeah,
fit
of
for
course.
the next
Yeah.
season, right? Plus, you've got other shows like I've just mentioned, Ahsoka, Skeleton Key as well is coming out. So that's in the same kind of genre as, not genre, but same universe as this as well. So
Hmm.
that all connect, right? It's all connecting to something bigger, and that's where the movie
Yeah.
comes into it. So um, to I mean, I do get a little bit annoyed as well with Book of Boba Fett because I think yes, Temuera Morrison got a little bit robbed of being Boba Fett as mysterious and as a bounty hunter that he was before. But I do hope that he gets a little bit more recognition in the next series, right? And into that. But again, writers, and believe you me, I've written written short films and done short films, training short films in my little little career, non-career. It can be very difficult to actually say that. Oh yeah, that's really good, but you have to change it, right? Because it
Yeah.
doesn't. It really doesn't fit, right? It won't fit with that character, or the characters will have to say this line, right, and do this action where you look at in your brain, right, as a
Hmm.
director, right, or as a filmmaker, and say, yeah, that'll work. But when you do it, right, it doesn't come out as the same that you've got it in your brain or your mind.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Look at Robert Rodriguez with um, him throwing so many references from from King Kong to Spy Kids, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I got a little bit annoyed with that because uh, you're taking it you're taking a little bit liberties of your own films and putting it into Star Wars. It just doesn't make sense. So I got a little bit
Yeah.
annoyed with it. But in any sense, I think yes, Mandalorian 4 wasn't somebody's cup of tea, but it had great moments in it, right? Um, you had everybody speculating on the Mandalorian uh, uh, being spies, and,
Spies.
and
Yeah.
everybody
That tricked a lot of people.
right tripped up a lot of people, and they got it completely wrong, which is all right because we're
Well,
here to.
that's maybe what Tamara Morrison's saying is like if you made that kind of like making this trick, maybe that's what we need to do with Boba Fett, you know.
Yeah.
Now I want to say good day to Darth Muzza. He's on here, buddy.
Yeah,
So
Mother. How are you, Mother?
the and it's kind of I feel kind of sad that like how Gilster says and like Linda says it's hard for them to see the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because those are some of our favorites. And I I know a lot of people didn't like Book of Boba Fett, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I did. I mean Obi-Wan Kenobi had a few things that I was like, huh? But I
Mm.
loved it. I enjoyed it. And I guess the only reason why I enjoyed them is because, you know, it's more Star Wars that we get to see.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, I've
You're right.
never fall and like you said about the whole thing about Dr. Pershing's episode, I get you. It has a reason for it, but this is the truth. To the cartoons, to the Star Wars Visions, to the Resistance, to all the movies, that episode is the first time I fall asleep on a Star Wars ever. First time, and I just I and the way it's weird because I was seeing how they blew up Bo-Katan's you know
Uh,
castle,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it went just to Dr. Pershing, and I fell asleep. But then for some reason I woke up right before we see Din Djarin and Bo-Katan go meet up with the other Mandalorians, and I was like, okay, cool, like it's getting back, and then the show ends, and I'm like, all right, this kind of sucked, but all right, you know, or the other one that was kind of like it lost its course a little bit was the Foundling, where Paz Vizsla's kid gets kidnapped by the bird.
Oh yes,
You know
right.
that
Yes.
that that just became another, but I still enjoyed it because it was fun, and but
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. It
wee
does
bit,
go kind of like, where are you going?
yeah, yeah. It took a wee bit too far. I think they should have cut that scene right uh, down to its minimum at least. But
Yeah,
they probably thought, well, now it's going that far, we'll take it that far and see where it goes, right? Which is sometimes wrong because you can lose translation in the scene with it. I think people lost transition in that scene because it just
yeah,
went on so long, where they should have actually spliced it or cut it and says, "Yeah, it'll be good here. We'll go to that sequence, right?" And
yeah,
then, so that's writing, though. That's
yeah.
writing and that's
It's
directing,
trying.
right? And,
It kind of reminded me of The Prisoner in the first season, where they had to go take out that guy from the. I mean, that had no point, that episode, but it was still Mandalorian, and I kind of enjoyed it in a certain way. Another one that people were kind of disappointed was on the Gunslinger. They're like, the Gunslinger, that's just, we went back to Tatooine and his nostalgia, but that one had a point. We
it did
actually
have a
saw
point.
that
Yeah, it did have a point because they're really telling the story. They've got such a base, right, to tell these stories. It may
yeah,
not make sense to other people, but other people it may do. But maybe introducing some plot point where people are not seeing it, right? Even if it's too long, or even if it's just doesn't make sense. But when it gets to that plot point, and that plot point's over because he got shot, because Cad Bane came onto the scene, right?
yeah,
Was it Cad Bane? Yeah, it was Cad Bane, right? Came onto the scene. Then everything connected, but it took that
hmm
long. It took that long to actually get connected, which is a problem. So uh, it's whether or not to actually keep that in a show where it's only 35 to 40 minutes long, or even shorter, right? Or to cut it out altogether, right? So it's up to their discretion, yes, but really it does get frustrating. Um, I see it as a little frustrating too, as well.
yeah,
If it goes on too long, or if the story makes no sense, right, to the explanation,
hmm
it doesn't give you any leeway for the real answer that you're searching for in the whole series. Or
yeah,
right, it's I guess they know what they're doing because they're doing it. Um,
yeah,
but thing is that again, I do have problems with it. But if it connects to the bigger picture, where mainly it does, I think it's generally going to be good for all people and Star Wars fans to actually know, right? If it's the only last season we'll get is season 4, right, and then we go into the film, that's great. But they need to get to that point where,
yeah,
right, where it starts to make sense, where uh, they bring in is it New Republic? New
yeah.
Republic. So it
New
needs
Republic.
to make sense. It really needs to congeal, right? Not congeal, is it congeal? Right? I mean, because the Mandalorian, you don't see him in the sequels at all. So
I don't know.
he has to have an out, right, of the film. Okay. Same with Bo-Katan. She needs to have an out to actually, because she won't be seen in the sequels, right, with Ray. Okay.
Could
Um,
be, yeah. And
so
that goes with Ahsoka and everybody else. I
exactly,
mean, so
exactly,
I guess
exactly.
I see your point.
Yeah.
I guess I should, because you know what Linda says a
No,
good
no,
point. She
you
goes,
should.
when
You should actually complain about it. You should actually
Well, I
complain about
mean,
it.
but again, I don't
You
like to complain
know,
because maybe there is a
right,
reason for it. Like a good
right.
example that Linda says, she says, "Wouldn't you make it a mission to hunt down that thing that keeps killing your foundlings?" So, of course, that would be any parent. But at the same time, now that she mentions that and what you're saying, it could make sense because at the end of the show, we see Paz Vizsla's kid getting the oath again, the creed. And it was all about Paz Vizsla's kid in that episode. So maybe there is going to be something with Paz Vizsla's kid in either season
See,
4 or in the movie. So you
it
both got a
connects.
point. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it connects, right? Something connects.
Yeah.
If you see it, if you don't see it in the first instance, the next episode will connect because that's the whole story arc. They've got to create a whole story arc with things in
Yeah.
between, right? If they don't make sense, right, at first, right, in
It'll
the
make
next
sense later.
episode, right, something connects, right? Maybe this Lizzo and this Jack Black thing, something here connects in the next series, right? It's got to be
It
about the
could be.
machine. It's got to be about the machines more than anything else because that was the whole storyline. Not Lizzo as such, and not Jack Black's character as such, but it could be about the machines. From
Or knighting Grogu.
yeah, exactly.
Never know.
So something's got to connect, right? Because that's again, I repeat myself, the story arc, right? The bigger picture, right? So,
Yeah.
um, and that's how kind of storytelling works sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that Lizzo one and Jack Black didn't bother me at all. I didn't care. It was a really good episode as well. I thought. I enjoyed it too.
had a Scooby
You
Doo
know.
kind of essence to it to me, but I enjoyed it too. I actually did enjoy it. Seeing Christopher Lloyd as in that kind of Star Wars,
Yeah.
it was brilliant. So,
Great
um,
Scott. And then Gilster says make Solo 2 happen. Honestly, I would love to see that because
oh, what was that?
I did enjoy Solo, a Star Wars story. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did.
I did it.
Cod Bane is not dead. I believe that too with
Yeah,
Linda. I agree. I don't think
he's not.
he's dead.
No,
I
I
don't think
don't. Yeah, yeah,
you know. How
I
about
don't.
Cobb Bannett? Well, he's in the back
Yeah,
in the back of the tank, and then they're gonna repair him, so he's coming back.
Yeah, because he's such a good, cool character. They both
Yeah,
are
he's
really.
very cool.
Cad Bane's not dead.
I,
He's
heck no. No.
Um,
I
I think
still
he's
want to
just
know
got
how Fett drew
scared.
his coffee stick from behind his back and get Cod before Cod could shoot him. That's just something that we'll never know. I mean, Cod was fast with guns. Maybe. Well, see, there's a mystery right there in a way. That Cad always said that, Boba was getting older. I know how you are. You're not as fast as me, but when it comes to other weapons, maybe Cad Bane is not as fast as like Boba learned. He didn't know that Boba was learning from the Sand people, so that makes it interesting too.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. So it's Sir Din Grogu.
they're
Yeah.
both wily characters, though. Cad Bane and Boba Fett. They're both bounty hunters, right? So they're both skilled in different weapons, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Boba Fett could have just actually gone like that and hit Cad Bane in the head, right? So, with his weapon. So, um, he's got his fire thing. But I think Boba Fett needs to come back in the series in the season 2, and I think his storyline should be better than on. I've got to say that be better, but it's got to be as to Boba Fett being back as a bounty hunter and going to space. That's how I see it. But
that was the problem with it, is that he got.
But that's
got
how
him.
I see it. So
he got himself. He got Fennec Shan, and then Chrysanthemum out of like being bounty hunting, and it's like they say you can never get the bounty hunting. I guess you can stop being the bounty hunter, but the bounty hunter will never stop in you. I guess that's the saying. So,
yeah.
it's just hard to see that happening, and especially the fact that if they're going to continue a season 2, the only way you're going to continue season 2 is with those Huts coming back. Those are his
Yeah,
next
there,
enemies.
yeah, there was reference in Mandalorian. I think this season. I'm not too certain. Don't quote me on it, but I think the Mandalorian said that Boba Fett was still on Tatooine,
Hmm.
uh, still, you know, lording over uh, lording over Tatooine. So he's still there. So he's not gone. As to his comment on the last episode that maybe this is not right for us. We should be back in space doing the bounty hunter thing. Paraphrasing there. So I think he's still on Tatooine, but I think for mine, I think the story needs to change where he does go off world, yes, and where
Hmm.
they bring out the huts, yes, but he goes off world as well. So
Yeah,
we're not in Tatooine all the time as to where Book of Boba Fett was. We need
I
to
agree.
branch out, and yes, bring back Chrysanthemum as well. Of
Yeah.
course, he needs to
Did
be
they did they
so.
take off did they take away the first part of Chris Hansen, the black part? Did they do that because they thought that was wrong? Because wasn't he called Black Chrysanthemum instead of
Yes, yes,
Chrysanthemum?
yeah, yeah. It
So they
was.
took that black part off because of uh
Hmm.
you know
Oh
hope,
yeah, because Disney Plus probably, because
okay.
it was on the banner. So so that because you see that on card on Black Series card, it's just got
Yeah.
Chrysanthemum. So um, uh, uh, and TVC, I think they've just got Chrysanthemum on here as well. So,
You
but
know
I
what? You know what would make him great as a bounty hunter?
who's
You know
that?
who they should and you know who they should bring back for season 2? And you want the Boba Fett bounty hunter that you guys want? Bring back Mace Windu.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
him have his revenge with Mace Windu for killing his father. Let him
yeah.
get that anger. It'll make him stronger, make him focus, and you'll have your bounty hunter again.
I
That's how
think
you bring.
I think they should because Mace Windu is still alive. I hear in the lore. So they've got scars all down his somewhere of his face. So I think they were going to bring him back. But good idea. I reckon they should do that. So they could easily write him in. Easily write him in. So Book of Boba Fett too.
Yeah,
Um,
bring Mace Windu back, and you'll have your bounty hunter that you want again, but
so
an angry bounty hunter.
I think they should bring back Bosk and Dengar. To be quite honest with you,
Oh
those,
yeah,
so
and IG-88.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Unless that was IG-88, though they had it was the head up there in the New Republic canteen when
Probably
they were
was.
talking to Carson Tava. You never know.
Probably was, yeah. He probably bought the farm. 1988 bought the farm, so to speak. He got killed. So, um,
Well, I had that feeling, Linda, that he was called because of that, because it is rare for a Wookiee to have black. But did they take it off the word black because of the whole social justice thing? That's what I want to know. I mean, then just you just call him Chrysanthemum, and then of course, Bobo gave him his nickname Sato.
I think it. To be quite honest with you, I think it was probably due to Disney Plus not having that. I could be wrong, completely wrong, but yeah, I'm not going to go there. Sorry, I'm not going to go there. So I think yeah. But chrysanthemums all right. Black chrysanthemums. It was in the books. It was like that. So
I think they
so
should keep it if he's the only Wookiee that is rare with black hair.
yeah,
I mean, call him
yeah.
Black
So
Chrysanthemum. Don't.
yeah.
It's just the
I don't.
word.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. It's just a word. I mean, it doesn't have any connotation. So keep it original. But you know what Disney's like, right? So, so
Yeah.
Slave Leia. I mean, they won't. It's just like they won't do an action figure of Slave Leia anymore. Um,
Or the Slave One, which I don't see that as wrong. The way I see it is, to me, the way I see the story of, and maybe it is a story. I don't know. Maybe somebody will correct me or not. But I love that Boba Fett called the ship Slave One, because to me it's like he decided to call it that in the memory of the clone troopers being considered as slaves to the Republic.
yeah.
Because in a way they were slaves. So it's like saying my brothers were slaves to this,
Yeah.
Republic,
Okay.
the Senates, and that's why I call that my ship is my dedication to my clone brothers. I mean,
I
that's
did
the
not.
way I would see it.
I did not know that. It could be
Or
right. Yeah.
Jango Fett. I'm not sure if that's the right story to it, but I mean, that's how I see it, as why it would be called Slave One.
Yeah. That'll be. Yeah. That'll be. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. So, because there were slaves, as to the was it Bad Batch? I mean, we saw most of those as well being, become slaves to, um,
Yeah,
so yeah, yeah, right, yeah, bang on. So, um, yeah, I think it should be called Slave One. Everybody knows it's Slave One, so I don't think it's gonna, all the fans are gonna call it Fire Spray. I think they probably know it's gonna be Slave One, even
and
if
again, going back to like Linda said, he's called Black Chrysanthemum because black fur is very rare for a Wookiee. So just call him Black Chrysanthemum. Then I just Chrysanthemum just because. Do the reason why, and that's the reason why he's called Black Chrysanthemum, because he's a rare colored Wookiee.
he's a rare breed. He's a big boy,
Yeah,
and so it was awesome looking at the Boba Fett. I tell you. So
he looked
when
good. He
he
did.
walked on that. It's just yeah, this is what
I
I'm.
think the only thing that looked pretty bad in Book of Boba Fett were the Gamorrean guards. Those were the only ones that looked kind of like they could have been better. But I felt bad for them because they they killed them off. I'm like, man, poor Gamorrean. I mean, this is like the second time we feel bad for some Gamorrean guards, because we felt bad for the one that got eaten by the Rancor, even though we know that they're mean.
But
But
the thing is that I didn't like was the biker gang. That's the one thing I didn't really agree on. Was the Vespa biker
the
gang.
Vespa biker gang, yeah, I didn't mind them. They were okay. I thought that they could have been a little bit better, but
Didn't fit.
I didn't mind them at all.
Um,
But it's
yeah,
true what everybody says. Like, how the heck did they keep those bikes clean in
yeah,
Tatooine and everything?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I learned that. I mean, I enjoyed everything. I just hope that that you're right, that they bring out the Boba Fett that we know of from Empire and Return of the Jedi. I think the way you can do it is by you want to have the Hutts in. You know what? Make the Hutts find Mace Windu and turn Mace Windu against everybody, and have Boba Fett, being the bounty hunter that he is like, you know what? I'm going after this guy. He's the one that killed my dad, and I'm going to go after the Hutts
It would make
as a bounty
sense.
hunter.
He goes off world and finds them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, heck yeah.
maybe the Huts could actually, uh, found something out, and then they tell Boba Fett, and he's got no ultimate. He's got no. He has to go and find Mace Windu because he's a bounty on Mace Windu or something like that, and he's got no choice. Boba Fett's got no choice because the Huts have actually said that um, we
If
want
you
you to take.
want, also, I wouldn't
So
mind even if you like go. You can if you want to build upon that on season 2. He kills off Mace Windu in season 2, and then if you decide to do a season 3, you can say, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna go after these targets. Now it's Han Solo who I'm going after next, since he's the one that got me into the Sarlacc pit for many years. I haven't, I'm still holding a grudge on that. There's your go. Season 2, season 3 of Boba Fett being a a bounty hunter that he should be.
I think they should go because maybe go after Lando, right?
Sure.
Because
Could
Lando's in hiding. Sorry, for some reason, in the sequels,
I thought?
So
Well, he was in hiding, but he did go back to Bespin after the Endor battle. That's what
did
I
he?
read in one of in one of the
Oh,
books. I think it was on in Empire's End. He went
oh, okay.
back to clean up Bespin and get all the stormtroopers out of there and claim back Cloud City. From what I
Yeah,
remember,
it's yeah. We can speculate. We can have a good time actually rewriting the Book of Boba Fett too. But
right?
yeah, it's good fun. Um, I just hope JJ when it gets around to it, they do a better job. I mean, I did like it. I like you know most of it, but I think I think he should go off world and collect some bounties
Heck yeah.
because of the Huts want him actually to go and get some of these bounties, uh, and he can't argue with the Huts because if he does, some
But
secret's gonna. So
how would you do that if he's already like the ruler of Mos Eisley and he
yeah,
has money with the Jabba
you,
thing? That's the thing.
you could kind of go to a story that where the Huts have got something on Boba Fett, which you know Boba Fett's kept secret, for a while, and so you could have that, or maybe Boba Fett just says, well, okay, I'm going to go off world anyway and track down Mace Windu because there's information there that the information should could have got to could have got to Boba Fett in
Hmm.
Tatooine that Mace Windu's in some vicinity, right?
Yeah,
So he just says, "Well,
and look
bugger it, you stay
and look what
here."
Linda says.
So yeah, so
Yeah, I agree. And look what Linda says. Legends of Fett still after Han in his 80s, and maybe they should do that.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe he's
um,
gonna get tired of being this ruler of Mos Eisley and just give it to Fennec Shan. And he goes, you know what? I thought I can quit bounty hunting, but I have anger, and I'm gonna go after these sons of guns.
that's a good idea. It's quite a good idea. He could be overthrown by the Huts for Tatooine, and that could be another idea that he, you know, uh, goes off world because he now is a bounty hunter with Fennec
Mm-hmm.
Shan. Takes Fennec Shan with him, right? And the only course of action is to actually, you know, track down Mace Windu because he finds some information. So that could be the way to
True.
go. Yeah. Um,
Linda says also in Legends, Fett becomes Mandalore, a leader of the Mandalorians. Which, yeah, I remember that. But honestly, Linda, now with Disney, I mean, I don't really see that happening now that they have Bo-Katan as still being the main leader, and I don't
yeah,
know. I just, I mean, to me, it just I don't see them going that route. I see it more as Bo-Katan is going to be the one that's going to be the leader of the Mandalorians now.
yeah. I don't think that could change because we just saw it happen. So uh,
Yeah, I don't see that happening because really, I honestly saw Mandalorian season 3 as more of a Bo-Katan show to
yeah,
end her story with the Mandalorians, and now Mandalorian season 4 is going to go back to like what season 1 was.
yeah. I mean, you could again, yeah. That was you could say a chapter of Bo-Katan in the Mandalorian, right? But still called the Mandalorian because she is a Mandalorian. So
Mm-hmm.
that's quite well played, I think. So I think it was well played because we did have to know her story and get to know where she has to be in that story.
Exactly. Yeah.
So and even when and that and then having the Mandalorian, then Jaron say that, I will defend you and honor you, is a great thing because they brought the Mandalorians together,
Yeah.
right? Um, uh, and again, going back to the thing, it will connect. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I don't think we're going to see the last of Bo. Really, I think she might cameo somewhere else. Um,
Ahsoka, you know.
Ahsoka exactly, or season 4 Mandalorian. He might come back to talk to Bo Katan and get some advice or something like that. Um, now that Mandalorian is now working for the Republic,
Somewhat under the table.
yeah, on the table. So, um, uh, kind of a gun for hire, really. Again, but for the Republic, I think Grogu will probably grow up a little bit more. We'll see more uh, force wielding with Grogu. Um, there is a picture online at the moment where there is Luke coming back into Ahsoka. So, because Mark Hamill was on set of Ahsoka, so there is that. So that connects as well.
Hmm.
So quite interested to see that. Um, so
So so let me ask you this, Peter, on Ahsoka. Of course, you saw you saw Rebels, correct? Star Wars Rebels.
yep, I did. Yeah,
Okay, did you
I
enjoy
loved it.
Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Okay,
Yeah.
me too. I enjoyed that when I saw Zeb in Mando. I had a geek
Yeah,
attack. I mean,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
geek splash. You know, but do you honestly think with the way how Ezra left and how he went into the world of what is it called, the world
Um,
beyond,
well
uh
beyond.
well, you know,
Um,
in between worlds, or the world and
that's
beyond the
cool.
worlds,
You mean when he was seeing whales, space whales, and he went,
not when he
uh,
disappeared, but when he went
oh,
into the in between
yeah,
worlds where he actually saved Ahsoka
that's right.
from
Yeah,
Vader that time,
yeah,
and then he put her, like, she decided to go back into the.
yeah.
So my question is now with Ahsoka, do you think there's gonna be something to do with time traveling? Which I hope
Yeah, there
not.
is a scene. There is a scene where she's in
World
uh,
between worlds. Thank you, Darth
worlds.
Moza.
Yeah, she's in a scene where she's in between worlds, where there's another what was
Dark
it?
Jedi, they say.
Yeah, no, Ray Stevenson. He's a dark Jedi. So,
Jedi.
and they're in the time, in between worlds. So there, yeah, she goes back in. She has that kind of power to actually go back in to step through there. So, and you can see the markings
Yeah.
on the walls. So she definitely does that. I think in Search for Ezra, I think that might be a plot point, that's where she's going to actually try and find where Ezra is, and that she goes through that time, world in between two worlds, right? So
Hmm.
I'm quite I'm quite looking forward to that. And actually, that's where we meet up, where Ray Stevenson's uh, uh,
Character.
character is. I'm
Yeah.
having trouble. Um, which will be really good. I mean, it looks fantastic, by the way, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I mean, the seeing Sabine, and God, Hera,
Hera
and
and Chopper.
look, yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Well done, Dave Filoni. He loves this character. No wonder he loves this character. Now he's put
That's
it
his
full on.
baby. That's his baby. Ahsoka's his baby. He never. I mean, he brought her in, and
Yeah.
everybody hated her at first, and then everybody fell in love with her. I actually fell in love with Ahsoka in I think it's E.K. Johnson's junior novel, Ahsoka.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
Very
know.
good story. It actually, because you know how she came out in Rebels with the white lightsabers, right?
Yeah.
In the book, in the novel, it actually shows you. It actually tells you how, um, she made those lightsabers. You know,
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, you should check it out. It's a very good book. It's called
Right.
Ahsoka. She goes to a
Right.
moon and she makes friends, and one of the Inquisitors finds her, and I read the book, and it was a very good. After reading that book, I liked Ahsoka more, and that's what made me want to watch Rebels more, and watch the Clone Wars again, and
Yeah, Clone Wars.
I
Good
just
in Clone Wars. Really good in
I
Clone Wars.
love the way. Um, See, when they did season 7, I did watch it all, but to me it's just those last 4 episodes that are
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Good.
inspiring and strong. Yes, they're very strong and
Mm.
very emotional. I mean, the
Yeah.
way they ended it with those clones passing, and
Yeah.
it's very emotional. I even
Yeah.
felt bad. I was like,
Good
damn, like,
visuals. Good visuals, eh? Really, really good visuals.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I
uh,
you cannot go wrong by the way if I'm glad they ended it the way they ended it. It's
mm,
just
yeah.
very powerful, very powerful.
I mean, I guess it had to end like that because all the clones really nearly perished, except for, I mean, we will see Rex, old Rex in Ahsoka. We will see Temuera Morrison sporting a old man's beard. So, because he's still with Ahsoka, apparently, because he left with the show with Ahsoka. So,
Well,
um,
he didn't leave with Ahsoka. Remember, wasn't he? Because they said that he fought in the Battle of Endor. So
oh,
they're
okay.
saying that
Right.
rebellion guy that with the beard is actually
All right.
um
There's two. Oh,
uh
that must be two, right?
Rex.
So,
I don't know if you remember that one
um,
in Return of the Jedi, the guy with the white
yeah,
beard. So
yeah.
of course, Return of the Jedi came out, years ago, but they're saying that that is actually supposed to be Rex in
Oh,
a way.
okay. Right. Right.
So
Well,
he
he
ends
must.
up fighting
Yeah,
in Endor, and then so does Hera.
yeah, I know.
I
Yeah, I
think
know.
gets in
Hera
there.
does because she was on the Ghost. She was in
Hmm.
the fight, that big, huge fight in the sequels. Because you can see the Ghost somewhere in that lineup of ships.
Hmm.
Um, uh, uh, Most of them went. I know that
Makes
most of
sense.
the Ghost crew went to fight with the rebels. So,
Yeah,
because they were really disbanded, really, because of the uh, Inquisitors,
yeah.
wanting
Because
to go
I
and
doesn't Sabrine Wren stay in Lothal?
yeah, she does, yeah, but
It
it
shows
looks
that she
like
stays there, right?
when when Ahsoka turned up, uh, and right with
Yeah.
her white staff, right? So I think that might be continuing on for the live action, where she comes back, right? Mind you, she had short hair. This on the comic
Well, she
book,
already
so
had it short, but she even made it shorter in season
yeah.
3, I believe,
But now
and now it's
when you
long.
see the sea is long, so they must have. She must have stayed or something like that, or I know that she goes with Ahsoka. I mean, so
Man, you got a
soon,
Hellcat over there.
soon find. Yeah, somebody's revving up the machine.
Yeah.
It's the weekend. It's the weekend up here. So uh, mm.
So Linda says that the guy with the beard is Nick Sant. Is that his, I guess, character name?
Is that one with the indoor bunker? Where he put himself in disguise, and he's a scout. He's a biker scout. So, um,
We'll see.
so um, anyway, we'll soon find out, right? Because Ahsoka's
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it's another Star Wars show. That's what I love about it. It's more Star Wars, and that's what I've always wanted. More Star Wars. I didn't care if it's shows, you know, um, movies. I just want more Star. Oh, the guy that everyone says that is Rex. Well, that's just the thing that they say. I don't know. I never thought it was like. I mean, it
Yeah,
looks like him in a way, and I mean, it's good thinking. But
maybe
I mean,
somebody got it construed as to he looks like Rex. He does. So,
hmm
uh, but I think Rex. This is my opinion. I think Rex does stay with Ahsoka because they just did go off together,
yeah,
right? Um,
more than
and
likely,
who
and especially
knows?
because he's a clone, and they didn't trust clones anymore.
No, yeah, they didn't. Um,
So
uh, because of their chip. I mean, still maybe. I'm only guessing. I'm speculating here, but I mean, I did see a poster with Temuera Morrison's Rex poster
face.
out on Ahsoka, so an Ahsoka poster. So somewhere. So yeah, we have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
It's gonna
So
be great. It's gonna be great.
yeah,
I mean, I'm just glad more Star Wars. That's all I care. More Star
yeah.
Wars. I'm even excited for season 2 of Tales of the Jedi.
Oh
I
yes.
mean,
Oh yes.
I just
I
love
cannot
the
wait.
way they
Yeah.
did it. I mean, I was just
Um,
like, oh, seeing a young Dooku, I was very
mm,
happy with that.
Qui
Very
Gon singing
happy.
young,
Yeah,
singing
even a
away.
young Qui-Gon. It's
So
just for some reason I know that when they made the sequels or the prequels, I'm sorry, everybody was so into Darth Maul. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Darth Maul. I thought he looked like a real badass Sith. That when it went from him to Count Dooku, that they didn't really call him Darth Tyrannus that much. Um,
no, yeah,
I loved that because you know Dooku wasn't really Sith. I mean, you never saw him turn his eyes yellow, so you knew that he knew how to control from going into being a Sith, even though he was working with the Sith Lord. I just love the fact that he knew like the Jedi are not what you would think they are. Um, but he was working with the Sith, and then he thought, I don't know about this Darth Sidious guy. That's why I like that in Episode 3 when he got killed off by Anakin, that he looks at him like, kill him now, and he looks at him like, are you serious? Like,
mm, I I think
I
yeah, I think he had more. I think he had compassion for Qui Gon quite a lot. So he was kind of in that vein of not becoming full Sith, not having
hmm
the yellow eyes, but becoming just a bad
in a way
guy.
a
But
dark Jedi, yeah, a dark Jedi in a way,
yeah, 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 yeah.
because I mean, I think that even if Qui Gon was alive, I really don't think he would have hurt Qui Gon. I think they would have fought and then just be like, "Till next
Mm,
time, my young Padawan or
mm,
whatever.
yeah. It would
You learned a
yeah,
lot." But
would have been like a Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi scenario type thing. So if Qui Gon would have survived, I think Qui Gon would have taken the higher road. I think and
mhm.
blamed Dooku for a lot of things, but um, we'll never know. So, uh, uh, yeah, I did like the whole arc of his story, and plus the whole arc of Ahsoka, and it really connected well. It really
Mhm.
connected well with all of the stories, even Yaddle coming in and
Yeah,
finding out,
yeah, poor Yaddle. I mean,
horrible death, but a very good one. So,
yeah, it's just like, oh man, But that was very good stories.
yeah,
I they Tales of the Jedi kind of reminds me of those novels of a certain point of view, where the books tell you different
right,
stories. Like
yeah,
how I did like that one where Yoda, like it was the whole thing about Yoda and Obi-Wan. Well, Obi-Wan was already passed, but about Yoda not wanting Luke to be the one. He felt like Leia was more of the one that would
right,
be as the
yeah.
chosen one, and that was really good. Like I like how they brought up different stories like that, and it's awesome. But
I'm gonna say this completely off Ahsoka or anything, but I'm gonna go back to Mandalorian here. I do have a theory,
oh yeah,
which probably won't work, but it's just a theory anyway, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give it to you. I think I was just thinking about Grogu, Din Grogu now, being in the sense of him getting rescued by another Jedi. Good to see Ahmed Best as well, back being a Jedi as well. So
Yes.
I have this theory that okay, Anakin Skywalker, yes, he was old enough, right? And this completely is probably wrong a theory whatsoever, but I think they missed the chosen one. This is crazy. The chosen one, I think, was Grogu, right? Not Anakin. That's my theory. I had it out there. It's probably completely wrong, but I thought, well,
Hey, it's a good theory, though. It's a very good theory. I mean,
so,
it's just I
it's
don't know. I
probably
mean,
not. It's probably not, but I just thought,
no, but that's a great idea of a theory, Peter. I mean, because we all thought that Anakin was gonna go on to bring balance, because the way they made it seem like was that what I liked is that they kind of did the whole reverse Green Lantern effect, where it was like the chosen one is gonna be a human Jedi and not an alien Jedi. And what I mean by reverse Green Lantern effect is that the Green Lantern Corps, when Hal Jordan became the first, they were surprised because there was never a human Green Lantern before, you know? So, because they always thought that humans are just, selfish and stuff like that. So, I like that they're doing that, and I think that'd be cool.
yeah, it's just a
But is
theory.
she still the chosen one, Linda? Because I mean, I don't know. Gilster, I think that's a great idea with the Lost Stars. That was a very good book too by Claudia Gray. I don't know about Ray being the chosen one. I feel like
No, I don't think she's a chosen one. I just think she's probably, I think she's just going to be training a lot more new
I think
Jedi.
she's a chosen one for a certain time of peace, but not really the
Yeah,
chosen
yeah.
one.
I mean, look at Ahsoka's lightsabers are white, right? And so is hers, right? And they're for peace. I think the peace or something like peacemakers or peacekeepers.
Yeah, the
Because there's
peacekeepers.
certain kind of types of colors that are the peacekeepers, or I know
The
red
temple
Sith.
guards, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, temple guards. You know more about law than I do, but
Yeah, a
the
little
green,
bit. Linda seems like the one that knows her Jedi
yeah,
stuff. She's very awesome at knowing
um,
that stuff.
green is supposed to be something significant. Hang on, I'm going to turn on. Yeah, I mean Mace Windu something significant as well, being purplish, pinkish. So
Hmm.
you've got your own kind of, you know. I mean,
Now that you mentioned colors, what do you think? What do you think of the new orange lightsaber deal?
don't know. What's this about?
From
I don't know.
Ahsoka. It's going to come out in Ahsoka with those two new characters that they have orange lightsabers.
Okay. Um, um, I, I think they're still Sith. So I think they're. My speculation is probably spies being orange instead of the real. I'm not too certain. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Maybe
I'm
they
gonna.
were the spies for
Um,
season 3. Never know.
never know.
That's why
I think.
she's getting a movie rebuilding the Jedi because Luke couldn't. Yeah, but that's all. I don't know. I think that's all hogwash. I don't know. I just I think it's sad though that Ray Daisy Ridley doesn't get the recognition of playing Ray, which I mean,
Oh, oh, yeah. Mm.
you know,
What was
but
that?
I mean, that Ray that Daisy Ridley doesn't get a lot of recognition of being Ray. Now a new Jedi. Like a lot of
Mm.
people don't cheer her on. Like how when Kathleen Kennedy comes out, nobody really cheers on her, and Daisy really gets the same kind of backlash on that, and I don't think it's fair
No,
for her.
I don't think it
I
was
mean,
fair
she didn't.
to her.
I
So
mean, she didn't do so bad in Force Awakens, but I
yeah.
really don't think that they went the route they wanted to with her, and I don't know. It's just
Again, it falls down to writing and the producing side of it. There, I think uh, Ryan Johnson went one way, and that way upset a lot of people. And then Rise of Skywalker, I'm sorry to say that was a complete mess. So everybody was right about that. It was just a complete mess.
yeah,
Um,
it,
it
it,
just
it was. I still enjoyed it though. I think that there was a few things that could have changed up. Like instead of saying that Rise of Skywalker was Rey, they should have done where instead of her killing Palpatine, I think Ben Solo should have came out of the hole and saved Rey before he died. Like
mm,
he would have died saving her, and that's where you can say, since in a way he is a Skywalker, that's where your Rise of Skywalker would have happened. And then again, I don't think bringing Palpatine was the right thing. I think they should have just gone with Dark Plagueis this whole time.
yeah. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think they should have actually brought Palpatine back. It just confused the hell out of people, I think. So I think Ray was a good character. I think she still is. I think she's got a lot of merit. Daisy Ridley, I mean, is a good actress. I don't think she should have actually got the reception she did get at Celebration. I think she,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, look, yes, I mean, love it or hate the sequels and the storyline. Yes, some bits were good in it, and some bits weren't. They didn't make sense. The writing was probably interfered with by Disney, of course, by
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'm sorry to say this, Kathleen Kennedy, I think. So I think they had all the hallmarks there. I think they went down a writing path where they could not dig themselves out of their own grave, right? So they had to go with it, right? And they did. It's all about timing as well
Mm-hmm.
with this. Um, I think the wrong moves were made by uh, the directing by J.J. Abrams. I think he went
Mm-hmm.
down one path that he shouldn't have gone, where he could have actually, done something different. Um, Sometimes I felt that he was making up as he went along,
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
and that's
'Cause I
never
don't
happened
think
in the
I don't
franchise.
think he didn't
Mm,
expect Last Jedi to go where it went, like you guys are saying. That
mm,
it went like because you can tell that Last Jedi was very different from Force
yeah,
Awakens. I mean, you could tell the difference. It's like, whoa,
mm,
man.
yeah, and even Mark Hamill said that to Ryan Johnson sitting next to him. You know, he kind of, well, I paraphrase. Mark Hamill just didn't like where his character was going in the Last Jedi,
Yeah.
and Ryan Johnson sat there and says that, well, it's not about you, it's about the fans, or something like that, or along the lines. So I think Mark Hamill took a little bit of umbrage to that remark by Ryan Johnson, but he was sitting in a crowd with sitting next to Ryan Johnson, so he really couldn't argue the point. So, um, uh, yeah. So whether you hate it or like it, or you're in the middle, the writers took a didn't take liberties, but I think they just took a completely wrong path, in my opinion, anyway. No
Well,
one else has to.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
big time. I mean, you had a like, what the heck is that with if you read the books of Captain Phasma and what she did before, that didn't sound like the Captain Phasma that we knew.
mm,
That supposedly
mm.
was very ruthless, and they just wasted her away.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then the same thing with Finn and Rose Tico. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
I felt
they just
bad. I
wasted.
felt really, really bad for those characters. You know.
You know, that Canto Bite scene wasn't really needed, to be honest. I was just like, what? But
Mm,
you
mm.
know, it
But
is what
yeah,
it is. But still, we had more Star Wars. That's all I cared about.
that
Love it or
kind
hate
of
it.
didn't connect as well as it should have. That's where
Nah,
it
it didn't.
was. It was supposed to connect, and it didn't connect. Being Phasma's last stand almost on a ship, you know,
Yeah.
that storyline didn't really go anywhere, and it just stopped dead. Bang, right? And it didn't go follow on to the next sequence of storyline. That's why I saw it. It just did not follow on
Yeah, it
because
was
it was
weird.
supposed to be a spy, which they were going to get, and they didn't really pick up the spy, which they were going to get. They were, got someone else, and it, fell flat. So
Another
uh,
DJ.
yeah, it's
That that guy. I like Benicio del Toro,
yeah,
but or not
same,
Benicio del Toro.
yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Sicario, dude. I forgot his the guy.
Yeah.
I'm losing it with
Oh
my
yeah,
head, but
it's been a Senate. Yeah, it's been a Del Toro. Yeah.
is it Benicio del Toro?
Yep. 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 It's not Guillermo del Toro. It's been a Senate.
Okay. It sounds off.
Somebody
I
will
don't know
correct
why.
this. Somebody will correct this in the chat because I
Because
probably
I
got it
thought
wrong.
Benicio del Toro was a director, but
Oh yes, yes. Um, Somebody will correct us in the chat.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct us. I'm trying to think
Um,
his name.
uh,
Uh, oh, wasn't I know I think it's Benicio something, but not.
he was in. He
Or
was in
maybe I'm
suspect.
correct.
He was in. He was just suspects. Or shit. So,
Oh, you know what? It's Benicio, right? But what's the? Is
Benicio.
it Del Toro?
There we
No,
go.
we got it right.
Benicio.
It was Benicio,
Yeah.
but is it
It's,
It's not Del Toro because I'm thinking Guillermo del Toro. Or is it Del Toro too?
yeah, Del
I don't
Toro.
know,
Oh, I know that one. Yeah. Yeah.
but
He's an 18.
his thing is like, oh my god, like you need a,
Yeah.
like the whole stutter and all that. I was just like, this, what is this? This is just a waste, But oh
And
well,
he turned out to be an imperial spy. And
yeah,
then
it is. We were correct, bro. The Benicio del
yeah,
Toro.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. um, and he turned out to be an imperial spy, and the whole story just went, to get his cargo, and that was it. To get his,
that's all he cared about.
cared about. And I'm going, okay, where does that go from here? How does that? I cannot remember how that went from there. So it went from him kind of killing off Phasma and then they escaping, but that was it. Where did it go from there?
Yeah, Darth Maul. God, what a waste of an act. There was a lot of waste in actors. I mean, like I said, what's her name that came out in Game of Thrones that played Captain Phasma? I expected more from that character, and they
She
just
should
went
have
off
been in
course.
the Rise of Skywalker. You know,
She should have been
uh,
more ruthless, but they
ruthless.
didn't make her ruthless.
Uh,
Uh, I didn't care about Snoke. I mean, Snoke. Um,
yeah, it's. I mean, he got killed off as well by Kylo Ren. I mean, so it's where was that
it
going?
was
So
yeah. I don't know. It's just it was kind of up and down, like you guys say,
even
and
even the clone war, even the clones that we predominantly saw in Mandalorian changed from Snokish to Gideonish. That changed completely.
yeah.
Um,
Well, uh,
so the storylines changed completely, and that's the worst. I think, in my opinion, things can happen. Right, either producers or the changing times or the dates. Either you have to rush them to get them out in time, so they rush the storylines, and then you don't get a good product out of it or
Yeah.
film. So the interference, I've got to say this, the Rise of Skywalker, and mind you, it did have some good moments, right? The interference of those movies were horrendously many, to be quite, but again, it had some good moments. I enjoyed the bombing run with all those ships. I enjoyed that. All right, so
Yeah.
um, but the long chase with the rebels and the Imperials chasing after them took so long. You know, where was that storyline going? So
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I agree. I mean I even though I still like the sequels, not as much as like my OGs or the prequels, but
yeah,
they're still up there for me. And but it just you're right. I mean the storytelling is kind of gotten off course with sequels, and I don't know they're gonna retcon them or not. I think they should just
no,
leave them.
hopefully I didn't influence you to say that they're not
No,
look.
no, 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 no. Because I know what you mean. I mean, again, I had to see Force Awakens 3 times to end up liking it. Because when I saw it the first time, I wasn't that impressed.
Yeah,
Then I saw Last
yeah,
Jedi, and I was very disappointed the way they put Luke. Of course, that he's a hermit, that the Jedi shouldn't exist no
yeah,
more. It's this and this and that. And then to say that, uh, learning by mistakes from Yoda. Oh, our mistakes is how we learn. And it's like, huh? That's coming from Yoda? And then Rise of
yeah.
Skywalker, of course, I liked it. I just thought it was a little slow. But I mean, yeah, I just think
I think the bringing back Palpatine was wrong.
yes, it should have
Uh,
been Plagueis. I think it should have been Plagueis. Bring him into it like that.
because they always put the meme up on some YouTube channel saying that what's his name? Oscar Isaacs
I skip, yeah,
saying that somehow Palpatine survived, is alive or something like that.
yeah. You
I'm
know,
going, where did that come from? Where did he come
yeah.
from? So, again, don't
So
get me
now,
wrong, some beautiful visuals, of course.
yeah, no,
Um,
no,
Ray fighting Kylo Ren on that, but again, totally out of contextual storytelling is alien horses riding on a ship. Totally berserk.
yeah.
I'm going, what?
I think the only thing that I guess the thing that we can say that really made it special these episodes 7, 8, and 9 was that we saw our nostalgia. We saw
Yes.
our Star Wars people from
Yeah.
before. Like we saw the Millennium
Yes.
Falcon. We
Yeah.
saw the Mon Calamari. We saw Akbar, Leia, Han,
Yeah.
Chewie. We saw our OGs back again in theaters, and I think that's what made it exciting for us. And but other than that, it's like, which
Especially, especially with Han. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
yeah,
Sorry
no,
about
no,
that.
no, you're fine, you're fine.
Especially seeing Han and Chewie come back on board on the Millennium Falcon.
Yes,
That
yes.
was
That we're home. We're home. It's like,
for Han. Yeah.
like
Um,
that's awesome. Seeing the X-wings again,
yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Um,
or the Tie
see,
Fighter pilots, stuff like
Mando
that.
back in there with nine of them, and so but C3PO with a red arm,
Yeah,
R2D2 coming back to life. So
it was just
uh,
it was great to see all that, and then
I was a
you
little bit
know,
disappointed that they didn't do that scene where they were all together because they cut that out. They were
yeah,
going to have something like that, and they cut it out completely. So
you know, no, well, you know what disappointed me was the part where Maz Kanata gives Han the lightsaber. It's like, where'd you get this? It's like in due time, another time for another story or something, and we never got that
yeah,
story. It's like, how the hell
yeah,
did you get that? And then he goes to a
exactly.
comic, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay, like I don't want to see that, but all right, whatever.
that would
Which
have been
again,
nice. So
bad story writing and all that, like you said. So, which leads me to this, which I'm gonna kind of change subjects on this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the reason I'm changing subjects is like Linda says, Benicio del Toro, he played the Collector in the MCU too. Okay,
Yeah.
with the MCU, we saw the Infinity Saga, and every movie, with the exception of maybe like Thor: Dark World and Iron Man 3, but the rest were great because we saw all these characters having a solo film, but we knew that they were gonna all combine
Mm.
to one, to where we're gonna see them all together to face Thanos, right? That we knew
Mhm.
that with the Infinity Stones. Now that we're saying Disney bad stories with Star Wars and stuff, with this whole Phase 4 and Phase 5 with Marvel doing TV shows and these movies, do you think that concept of Star Wars is starting to blend into this Phase 4 and 5 of MCU? Because kind of seems like they don't know what the heck they're doing. It doesn't seem like they don't know where to go with it when it's supposedly, according to the writers and producers and all that, that this is supposed to be now the multiverse saga.
Yeah.
You know?
It's John Favreau coming into Star Wars now has implemented some semblance of because he started off with Iron Man and
MCU.
MCU, right? So I think he would probably have some idea and probably ideas coming saying that, well, yeah, let's implement something like that in Star Wars, right? Let's tell short stories in the episodic, right, flow, right, and see if it works, and get them all connected, right? Um, Even if it takes us years and years and years, right, to actually get these stories going, let's implement the Star Wars multiverse or universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the instigator of that because again, he's come off MCU. It worked for the MCU for that those phases, right? But now that John Favreau's in Star Wars, it doesn't really have anything to do with MCU or Star Wars. I'm just saying that it's gone a different road for MCU. Now you've got
MCU.
multiverse, right?
Yeah.
So that's all changed, and it hasn't become like the first few phases that we saw Thanos. It's changed dramatically because
Yeah.
there's more programs now than films. Not to say there's films because they are. Look at Thor: Love and Thunder. You still got Ant Man: Quantumania. You got Wakanda Forever, right? But you're still overlapping with different little storylines like Miss Marvel and Secret Invasions coming up as well, and you've got little series, right. So sometimes again I'll go back into the connection ways because it all does connect. If you're only seeing the small little implements of uh, meanings, right, that don't make sense, try look at it as the bigger picture,
Yeah.
right? The if you don't see anything like Volume 3 Guardians of the Galaxy has nothing to do with the Kang Dynasty, I would say it probably does somewhere down the line, right?
Yeah, and that's understandable, and and
So
that's if we
yeah,
see a few of those characters, but like in this case,
in Star
you
Wars, I'll go
know,
back. In Star
uh,
Wars, you still see the same thing, right? It's
yeah,
going to be the bigger picture
and I'm
and the
trying to
big.
see the bigger picture with MCU. The problem is that some of these things don't really, which I'm now seeing it more and smaller, like with the whole what is it, the Eternals. You know,
Right.
now I'm seeing now that they're probably going to bring the whole what's his name, Ramatut or Tamatut, the Celestial that was coming out.
Mm.
Supposedly that might be in Captain America 4. But like I said, like Shang-Chi, I can see that going into where with the whole Kang thing. Quantum
Mm-hmm.
Mania, Kang thing.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther 2 was it was a Black Panther without a Black Panther if you think about it. Chadwick's gone. Which I understand they had to change the story around. But where does that lead into Kang? I
but
get
you
that
got
maybe the character will, and maybe Namor will
Namor.
help out too.
Namor will be the clincher here, probably.
Okay,
Namor, yeah. So
let's hope so.
yes.
God, Thor, Love and Thunder. Maybe what's Mighty Thor, because she's in
Mm,
Valaya or whatever. She's not really dead if you think about it, because
mm,
what human's gonna go to another god heaven,
mm.
But it's just like I want to know how they're gonna connect it soon, because I know that with Bob, Bob, not Bob Iger, but the one that replaced Bob Iger before, Bob. Hey, Ed Five, how you
Oh,
doing, buddy?
Chapek,
JPEG,
Bob Chapek.
yeah, he wanted to
Yeah.
bring in like She Hulk, Kate Bishop, and all those, and make a Young Avengers. And
Okay.
then now that he's been gone, and then Iger comes in, it's like, okay, I don't want to do Young Avengers, so it kind of messes up the whole thing. You know what I mean? There's a lot
Can
of
I
things now.
explain?
Iger's kind of changing it now.
Can I just explain? Because this is getting into my little bit of wheelhouse here.
Sure.
um, uh, Bob Chapek, and you know this, everybody knows this, right? Bob Chapek was a freaking menace to MCU. Okay,
Oh, big time.
he looked at the money side, right?
Yeah.
He looked for not like Bob Iger's doing now. Bob Iger is looking now at quality over quantity now. Okay, Bob Chapek looked at money over quality. Okay,
Yeah.
he always did because he's a businessman. He came off Parks, right? He came off
Yeah.
right. Okay, so but his goal, Bob Chapek's goal, and I know he's probably speculating, and this is my opinion, right? But he came off as a businessman, so that's where his head was lying, right? He changed the whole board of directors into bankers almost, okay, right?
Yeah.
Where Bob Iger had had people who he could trust, who are storytellers, who are imagineering people, who thought with their brains and and good people for the film industry, for Disney and MCU and the latter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bob Chapek didn't like that at all. Okay, he stuck to the money side of the things, right? So he completely stuffed up Scarlett Johansson's money situation. Okay,
Yeah. He did.
so, and he completely stuffed up something else along the lines of that as well. He only thought of a business, not of people who were coming in to actually write these films and direct these films. Okay, that was the
Mm.
problem. Well, the films got out, yes. Okay, regardless, but nobody liked Chapek at
No,
all. Okay,
I agree
because
with you there.
just ruined MCU. Absolutely ruined the CEO kind of thing because he changed the whole dynamic of it, right? So
Yeah.
that's what the board of directors said. No, we've had enough, right? You're only thinking about money. You're only thinking about the product that's not getting out its quality. Okay, you're just churning out stuff that really nobody really likes that much, but they'll watch anyway. So we're going to get rid of you. Bob Iger jumps back in because he knew the storytellers, he knew what the public wanted, he knew even what Hasbro was going to do with the action figures and stuff like that, right? Because it always culminates there, right?
Yeah.
He said that he wants quality over quantity. So in the next few years, you won't see as much as a saturation of MCU TV series, right? You'll see more of quantity of films, right, coming out.
Good.
You'll
Yeah.
see more, but you'll see more of him selling off stuff and buying stuff in, right? So Hulu might actually be sold to someone else, right? Okay, that means Bob Iger can bring in something else, right, into Disney Plus, right? Okay,
Yeah.
he had a whole speech. He was standing, saying that what's going to happen with Disney parks and Disney films and stuff like that, it will be quality over quantity. That's what people want, okay? Because that quality is better over quantity, okay? That means that's better effects for films. It's better. Directors can come in and be and not be bossed around by producers or bossed around by JPEG's money men and say that no, you have to cut costs here because we're putting money there, right? Bob
Gotcha.
Iger
Yeah.
won't have anything to do with that because he likes creative people. He likes dealing with Kevin Feige's of this world or John Favreau's of this world because this is Disney. Walt Disney had, you know this, right?
Yeah.
Walt Disney had a dream of creators, right? Not of money men. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That came second of all. Creators came first. And that's where Bob Iger is. And he's always been that. He does take care of the money side of stuff. Ooh, what was that? It was me. Was it? Was it me? It
Yeah,
was
you
me,
glitched a
probably.
little bit. You're fine.
I'm
You're fine.
fine now. Okay, that was my Wi-Fi going out. So that's where I stand. That's where my opinion lies.
No,
Right.
and your
So,
opinion
um,
does prove a point because with JPEG, the Disney Plus went up, and he even announced it, and it's like why, and I mean, so I can see your point of the because I mean with Iger, he never thought about raising it up. Of course, it's already done, but when I saw that Iger was leaving and this other guy came in, I
oops,
was like, oh, it doesn't seem like it was good, but
I'm having trouble with my internet. I don't know why.
uh-oh,
Um,
uh-oh.
so should be fine. I don't know what's happened with this. So my Wi-Fi is going. Um, so yeah, I just got a little bit of a flicker with my Wi-Fi up on my feed here. So,
Okay,
you
gotcha.
good? Are you
Oh, I'm
hello?
good. I'm good. I'm
So,
good.
it's just me. Sorry, guys. It's just me. So, um, it'll hopefully it'll right itself. um, you there, JJ?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm
Um,
here. I'm here. Don't worry.
but that's how I see it. That's how I see it. I think
And
Bob
I
Iger
like your
has a heart.
opinion.
So,
I like your opinion. I agree
uh,
with it very much. And you're right. You're right. But
I,
we'll
I
see.
think
I
I
mean,
think.
because
Sorry, go
no, it's
go.
just I guess I was just having a not a tantrum, but a whatever they call it. I guess because when it came to the Infinity Saga, you can see everything going as planned the way it should, you know? But of course, that was
Yeah,
under Iger. And then with Multiverse Saga, you don't really see it going with all movies the way it should. Because even like, let's just say, a good example, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Iron Man 3. You knew that they were their own stories, but you can tell that even though they were facing their own enemies, they still had a reason to go to to that Infinity Saga final battle. You know what I mean? And with these, it's kind of like they're up and
I think
down with, they don't know where to go. So I guess that's why it's kind of like I'm a little lost because like She-Hulk, I still watched it, I still enjoyed it in a way, but it was
mm,
more of a joke and of course money making. Moon Knight was good, but just they didn't know what to do with him.
yeah,
Kate
it's
Bishop with Hawkeye, that I kind of like now that whatever happened with Hawkeye, I'm glad
mm,
he's recovering better. But now this is the way you can retire that character and bring Kate
mm,
Bishop in. You
mm.
know,
I mean,
where the hell is White Vision? We haven't seen him,
mm,
so it's kind of like we need to see him. So
yeah, it's I mean, and that revolves around I think again Bob Iger coming back into it that means that we can get back to normalization with the
Yeah,
MCU, maybe,
yeah,
so that's where I think the saturation of the TV series and the episodic TV series like She-Hulk, um, not being quality but just quantity and getting it and pushing it out there,
yeah,
sometimes making no sense whatsoever. Now I think Bob Iger and Kevin Feige can actually sit down or do whatever they do and say, look, yeah, let's make less TV series of MCU. Let's just do more films, but let's actually make them connect more.
yeah.
That big story arc, because they've got a big story arc to actually get through with Secret Invasion and Kang Dynasty, right? So
Which is going to
they,
be tough now because of Jonathan Majors incident, which I hope that gets cleared because like I said, I really like Jonathan Majors as this Kang or as the different kinds of Kangs that he's been, especially
but
like how he was Immortus in Loki, and I
is
love
it
that makes sense.
is that the question? Is the question of has MCU or has Kevin Feige dropped him yet? Because everybody else has. So
They're
that's
saying they have. They're saying they have. I don't know what the rumor is, but they're saying that they did let him go already as Kang.
right,
But I
right.
mean, that's kind of. I mean, you can always find somebody close to him to be like Kang. I mean, you don't always necessarily have to have. I mean, they've done it before where they've changed the cast before. You
Mm,
know,
mm.
they did that with Cassie Lang. I mean, they did it with Rhodey. You know, I mean, they changed them. They did it with Red Skull.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I
so
mean,
I
are they
guess so.
waiting? Are they waiting on what's going to
More than likely. I mean, but I still like Jonathan Majors even in other movies and in his show Lovecraft Country. I thought he was coming out, you know, but and then Gilster saying, "Is it too late for X-Men and Fantastic Four?" No, man, no,
no,
buddy, it's not.
mm,
Especially that I was talking about with the whole Celestial coming out of the Earth,
because that was in
according to
She-Hulk.
Captain.
Because She-Hulk was she was reading in a news article that the Celestial
Yeah,
was,
and they're saying that in the New World Order, Captain America, the Serpent Society is going to make an island around him, and that the Celestial is actually going to be adamantium.
oh, okay.
That's the story they're
We
saying. So that'd
we
be
even got
interesting.
we even got the X-Men actually in there, but by Miss Marvel saying that she might be a mutant. So
Well,
that
now
was
that yeah,
so
so one of the things they were talking about is like with Miss Marvel now being a mutant, that's why the whole story of WandaVision was great because it wasn't just the what is it called, the Mind Stone or whatever it was that created Scarlet Witch as her. They were saying that that when they used it on her, with Baron von Stucker and of course Hydra used it on her, that awakened her. So now they're saying that even more, that with Thanos doing the snap, with Hulk doing the snap, with Iron Man doing the snap many times, that whole I guess wave of the stones is actually awakening a lot of these people that are already considered mutants, but their mutant gene was dormant. So now they're saying that they want to bring it in that way with the whole Infinity Stone snaps are actually awakening the mutant the mutant gene. There we go. John, have
well,
you been hyped about for the Flash? Oh yes, yes, I am. I am very hyped. Michael Keaton. You know, you
yes.
have a Ben Affleck. You know, Zod. You know, Michael Shannon Zod is coming back. It's like wow. You know, and I just love that. That it's almost like a flashpoint. That's gonna be amazing.
You want to get nuts? Let's get
Let's
nuts.
get nuts. I think so, Gilster, but who knows what will happen. Okay, Ed 5 with Deadpool 3 supposedly has to do with time
Yeah, it
traveling.
does. Yes, it
That's why
does.
Wolverine. So they're
Yeah,
saying that with
yeah,
Deadpool, that he's going to be the next guy that is going to mess up the whole multiverse system,
yeah,
and that the TVA is going to go after him.
yeah,
Which
yeah. Because
would
Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine's coming back into it. We all know that. So,
yeah.
um,
So who knows?
yeah, who knows? No doubt. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool bucking up the bloody times. Yeah, come on, there's no brainer there.
It was
So,
about time they did him as
yeah,
Deadpool. I mean,
yeah,
forget that Green Lantern crap.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but you were not a Hal Jordan, Ryan Reynolds. You
Still
were
love,
a Deadpool,
still
a
love that
Wade
scene.
Wilson.
Still loves love that scene where he shoots him in the head because he's got the Green Lantern script in front of him.
Yeah,
Brilliantly funny. Um,
can't wait.
but
Definitely
yes,
Flashpoint in
the
DC
multiverse
restart.
people had multiverse saga they had problems with because it was all over the place. But again, if you look at it, it does connect. It does connect. So I'm not saying
In a way, I guess, but not too much. I mean, but we'll
yeah.
see. I mean, it all. It just. I don't know.
Loki
It just.
might be the key. Loki series 2 might be the
Well,
key.
Loki
Yeah.
series 1 and 2, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home, and then Ant-Man Quantumania. All that I can see it setting in, you know.
Mm.
But it's just crazy how all these other ones are like, well, are we gonna have the Cosmos coming in and stuff like that? That's my thing. Is like, okay, we'll see how it works. But again, I just hope the whole Jonathan Major thing is squashed and that he's
Yeah.
still Kang,
Yeah.
because I really like them as Kang or
Is
Kang
it
variants.
pending? It might be pending, isn't it? It might be pending his troubles. So
Well, he
yeah,
is coming out in Loki season 2 as
mm,
like what's his name, Likely, Victor
yeah.
Likely. So
He's
we'll
variants.
see.
He's variants. He's variants of Kang. So he's a lot
I
of
love that, and well, I haven't seen Quantum Mania, but I saw the post credit where you just see them all, and it looked like the
yeah.
comic book. Yeah, like I was just like, that is awesome, and I love the way that Ramatut and all those, and they come out, and then they're just like they're beginning to touch the multiverse.
Yeah, and that's
They're
the good
gonna.
thing about it. So I don't mind multiverse. I don't mind that. Yeah, I
I
took
honestly think multiverse should have been their third saga. I honestly think Secret Invasion and Secret
yeah.
War should have been their next saga in line. I think I felt that
You're
that's
right. Yeah, you might be
huh?
right because they did have Skrulls, didn't they? In Captain
Yeah,
Marvel. Yeah, I don't know why they would actually go for that first and then the multiverse. So yeah, you're quite right. You're actually yeah. I would love that with the Skrulls coming back into it with Secret Invasion. I mean, it would have actually flowed better. I think. So who knows? You can
we'll
probably
see
hear
how
that
it goes.
helicopter behind. So, activity in New Zealand.
You know, then the Secret Invasion saga or something like that. It would have been cool, you know. And there you go. There's your Fantastic Four coming into the line because
Yeah,
the Super Scroll is actually one of the Fantastic Four's enemy. You know, and
I
then
mean,
instead of having those, and then if you want to go in even deeper, you have the scrolls, right? And you think that the
yeah,
scrolls are actually the main enemy, but you can always make a twist and say that actually
is it,
Galactus is the one that's in control of hey, keep on collecting. How you doing? You could have had Galactus controlling the scrolls, you know? I mean, you never know.
but I mean, what do you think of Adam Driver being uh, maybe being cast as Reed Richards?
Um, don't get me wrong. I like Adam Driver. I think he's a very good actor, but not as Reed Richards. No, 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 no. It should have just stayed with John Krasinski or get
Fan
somebody else to
casting.
do it.
Interesting. It was a fan cast. It was a fan
Yeah, I
cast
know,
contract. So,
but still, I
uh,
think he does a better role. I don't know, but we'll see how Adam Driver does. You never know. I mean, but I don't see him
I
as
mean,
a
he was
Reed
on.
Richards.
Yeah, I think he's. I think he's been considered. You know, so I don't think he's set in stone just yet. So, because they've got to talk to him because they get them. get them in to actually talk to first,
Yeah.
for these parts,
I don't know who they would they can get right now. We'll see. I mean,
if Luke
we'll see
Evans was a
later.
little bit, if Luke Evans, a Welsh actor, was a little bit more
A little
younger,
younger?
yes, yeah.
I can see him doing it. Yeah.
So, maybe the Scottish actor. I've forgotten his name. He's a Scottish actor. Uh, uh, oh damn, yeah. Oh, he can't do it, can he? Because he was an Eternal, wasn't he? He was Icarus, so he can't do it. So there you go.
Oh, you're talking about the one that came out in the one that came out in Game of Thrones, correct?
Icarus, yeah, he was Icarus on Eternals. He was Scottish. I was thinking of him to be a
Uh,
regular.
Tom something, isn't it? Thomas
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Thomas something. Yeah,
See,
sorry.
you were thinking of him, and I was thinking of Jon Snow over here, Kit
Right.
Harington. But I was like,
Oh,
wait,
Kit
no, Kit
Harington.
Harington is Black Knight
Yeah,
now. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
he is. Oh, where is that? Come on, I like Black Knight. He's one of my favorite characters in there.
He
So,
needs to come out already.
yeah, no. Yeah, he needs to do something. Utilize him. Utilize him. So
Yeah,
he's
I
supposed
mean,
to be
he's one of the
Blade.
ones that can control. Supposedly, he was one of the ones that came out of the quantum realm.
Yeah. He's supposed to be in Blade with Mashali. So
Marsha Ali, yeah.
yeah.
Well, because I was
Hopefully.
Blade at the end of Eternals, that's why.
Yeah. But he's one of my favorite MCU characters and comic book characters.
Cool.
Man.
He's a rare.
I've got
It's rare that anybody likes him, but
I got
I
some
think it'll be
strange
great.
favorite actors and favorite characters in MCU. So
No, well, you know
I
what?
like.
Like, we already saw Baron Zemo come out. If he comes out in
Yeah.
the Captain America 4, I would like him to come out as Citizen V, or not
Yeah.
Citizen V, Citizen. What is his name? Is it a Citizen V? Well, it's the one character that looks all. He has a cape, the United States flag, and then he has a cape. He has like a mask that has the U.S. Like the stars. I think it was Citizen V.
Okay.
Let's
Never heard
see.
of him. I was gonna say yeah.
It's a rare. It's a. His figure came out a while back. Let me see, and you'll see it's this figure. I'll see if I can do it quick where you can see it on the. I don't think you'll be able to.
Hang
That
on.
figure.
Oops. Oh,
There you go.
yeah. Trying to get you. Oh
Oh, it's
yes, yes.
okay. Remember
Yeah.
that figure he came out with the Thanos? I think
Yeah.
the Thanos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
do.
actually Baron Zemo.
Okay. Did he change his costume?
Yeah, he changed his costume. So I think it'd be cool to see him like that, and they don't know who he is in Captain America 4. So, but we'll see.
Okay, wow. Well, there's such a lot of characters in the MCU and comic books. They can, I mean,
Oh
they can
yeah,
choose bloody thousands to, you know, hundreds of thousands. So, uh, oops, what happened there? That just jumped. Something's happening. Something's a glitch in the matrix. Okay, JJ, can we call it a night?
yeah. I was gonna say it's already 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I had a great time talking to you, my friend. It was very
brilliant, mate.
enjoyable, and
Yeah,
we
brilliant.
agreed on a lot of things. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I see your points, and I think you see
Yeah.
some of my
Oh,
points,
yeah.
and that's what makes it awesome. I love that. Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for everybody who did show up. That I know that for some of us it's very late. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the morning in my time, and I just really appreciate everybody that I know in the chat, and then knowing you, Peter, and getting to know you more in person like this it's really awesome. So I appreciate it a
All right.
lot. Thank you for having me again.
Brilliant. I love this kind of conversation, mate. How we all get to conversation, and it's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I love talking about MCU and Star Wars lore, and even comic books and stuff like that. So it makes me happy, and talking to somebody like you with it, because we do have you know. Uh, Sometimes different opinions, but we do agree on some things, and it's great. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
we almost agreed on a lot of things, so that's
I know, yeah.
very awesome, you know.
It's good that chat can actually also get involved as well, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah, always, always, and I
Um,
don't like forgetting about the chat. That's why I like to read up
um,
on and
um,
just
um, I
see
would
stuff.
say,
But
JJ, anytime, mate, anytime, jump on with me, and we can have this more conversation on MCU, Star Wars,
heck yeah,
anything, mate, anything. So
yes,
yeah,
yes. Thank you, thank you.
so I'm going to dispense with the clapping because we don't need it.
No, you're
Because-
good.
so I'm going to say, hey, what's next for you anyway? Because I know you don't have a channel, but what's next for you? Just um,
Buy more toys still, and then just watch you
yeah,
guys and enjoy you watching you guys and
yeah.
well, actually, I'm hoping to jump on Dave's Dimensions stream
All right.
tomorrow since he's
Mm,
gonna have that
mm,
or today. It's actually today, the Ride for
mm,
Roswell. So hopefully I
mm,
can jump in his stream for that and just
mm.
say hi and you
Yes.
guys,
So,
whoever doesn't know, thank you. Keep on collecting. I appreciate that. Guys, if you guys don't know about Dave Dimension, he is actually doing Ride for Roswell. He rides a bike in June, but he's he's doing a donation. He's doing an 8-hour live stream tomorrow on his channel, where he'll be doing the wheel, where I think he said $20 of a donation will get you in all wheels, and actually the donations are going to the Ride for Roswell, where they help with cancer. So hope to see you guys there. It's very fun, and it's great to help out in
all
this
right.
time. So
Okay, stick around in the green room, JJ.
sure.
Okay, so I'm going
Awesome.
to sign off here now, everybody. I'm not going to do the clapping or whatever it is, yeah, it's me with it. I'm going to say thanks. Keep on collecting, Matt, and Dan in 5. Thank you all, Darth Muzzer, Rolando. You're awesome as always. Thank you very much. Gilster, awesome. Linda for hanging out. Probably forgot everybody. Wheels of Doom, Kale, Wheels of Doom. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me and JJ. JJ is awesome. His
Yes.
collection of GI Joe is awesome. His family
Thank you.
is so cute and awesome.
Thank
And
you.
he's a lovely guy. Please watch him if he's on anybody's stream, because he's freaking good, be it Rebels, Reptiles, and Games, or Dave's Dimensions. Go in there and have talk to him in the chat there as well, and because he is a gun for hire on YouTube channels at the moment. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Very knowledgeable guy, a very wonderful guy, and mate, you're a fantastic friend, a new friend,
You
and
too.
I love
I
you, bro.
appreciate you calling me a friend, and I love you too, man. Like honestly, I love you. You're always wonderful, and you always say hi, just like everybody else. And I want to say good night to everybody else, and
Yep.
or have a good day to everybody else who's been saying later, JJ, and I'll be seeing you guys soon again. I mean, I'll be in the chats again tomorrow on Dave's Dimensions channel, and all y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.
What's the Aussie time? Are you, Matt? Are you talking about the Dave's Dimensions, or are you talking about?
It's 10 p.m. Eastern, so it would probably be almost probably close to 3 or 4 p.m. your
Okay, so
Aussie time on Sunday.
same time that we had our thing on 3 p.m. to Okay.
Around there, yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
calculating something like I think it's almost 18 hour. Australia's 18 hours from the Eastern time, I think, around there. So I'm just calculating it. It's going to be around there.
All right.
Yeah, see you soon.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave.
Take care.
That. Yeah, I'll leave. The other. I don't want to. What is it? Read. There we go. Anyway, God bless you all, and thank you very much for joining me here and JJ here. on the PGM show, but not the PGM show, but just a great conversation. Anyway, so love you all. Thank you all. Good night, all. Good morning, all.
Night.
Good afternoon, all. Until then, see you later.